Hello. Hi. Welcome back. We're here. That's right. We're here live and direct for you today. Oh, go on, Alfie. Alfie wanted shout outs. Yes, Alfie. Myself, 007, and Alfie are here to start off the show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. So sorry we weren't live yesterday. We've got some information moving forward for when we will be live. We'll bring that throughout the show. If you check the chat room out already in all 3 channels, you'll see some information on that. But first and foremost, it's Saturday. It's a big weekend, bro. It's a big weekend. We were just saying that before we went live, right? We were like, you know what? Yeah. This is a massive show. In fact, did we say we were going to do like a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this show? Because we looked at the tabs and just went, is there any we can take out? No. Is there any way we can rush through this? Absolutely not. So yeah, we're in it for the long haul.
The disclaimer, I guess what we need to do really our customary shout out to the chat room, but what we should say is, whilst we're shouting out the chat room, normally it takes us a good 10 minutes. That would be a good time to make sure that your coffee mug or your tea or your beer or your wine or your juice or a non-alcoholic beverage of some kind has been recharged, right? And you have a nice big bowl of popcorn or kibble, whatever it is that you like to munch on, because this show is going to be pretty. You're just going to have to sit back and enjoy it, guys. Make some notes. The links will be given as we're going through, so note them down, bookmark them, whatever, and you can go and have a good look afterwards on your own steam. Use your own discernment, and that's what this is all about, isn't it?
Did I just hear you telling everyone to enjoy the show, Rich?
I think I said enjoy the show. Yeah, I think I might have said that.
You couldn't make that up. You just couldn't make that up. Oh, well, without further ado then, bro, we'll jump into the chat room. I'll scroll right to the tippity top, and we'll kick it off. Should we do a few each? I'll try and scroll down the blue bit, and I'll
give me 1 second.
Yeah. I can only go as far up as Anod. If you can get any further up than Anod, I'm not able to get any further up. And I know that Tornagorn.
Oh, Tornagorn was up there, yeah.
Yes, Tornagorn was first in the chat room. And yes, you know what I'm talking about. I have been looking, and so far I'm just coming up with like somewhere that's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we had a look. We had a good look, didn't we?
We did. And we are going to carry on. But yeah, shout out to Tornagorn as well, because that's not on my screen anymore, and I know I saw that for sure.
I can only get up to Mark Carter, FE. Evening all, mate. How you doing?
No worries. There's Anod as well, and Micaiah's Place. Evening, folks. Great day today. And Serious Truth. That's coming up. Shout out to Serious Truth as well. We've got that. That's the first segment we've got coming up tonight. Rich has got something lined up, and I've got a few links for it as well. Kelly Jelly. has just started firing my wood burner. Going to be upper 30s here tonight. Lovely. Lee G as well. And now we're down here at Brendan Street. Shout out to Brendan Street. Shout out to you, bro. You'll go,
Right,
Rich.
Brennan Street.
I've highlighted it in blue.
I've got. Yeah, I can't see. I can't go up to where you are. I can't get up.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
high.
so we've got Alfie Patchin. Hello, my brother. Lovely to see you as well. I've got Steve Bailey as well. Yeah, you know what? Shout out to you. We've literally skimmed. We don't even. It's almost like a ping pong. No, it's not ping pong. What's that machine that you play where you pull the thing back and you go?
Air hockey. Oh yes, pinball.
Pinball is we've pinballed the mainstream media today. We've literally gone ping, like we've not been able to deal with them. But more on that in a minute. Obviously, the thumbnail for today's show, we've got the High Roxy in the background, because we do have a little bit on High Roxy and the zinc aspect of it. And yeah, so shout out to Adam for that first and foremost. Shout out to Adam for all of the thumbnails. It's the Adam MEAKIN. Sorry for that. Steve Bailey. Carrying on with the shout outs. We've got Jesse Enns in the chat room as well, bro. And we have got Mark Carter. And we've got, are you getting there? Jane of Torquay, my darling.
Okay, I've got Rune Thorson.
Yes, we've got that as well. Rune, I saw your comment earlier on about, did you know that the Yep, we've got the pictures of that as well. Shout out to you as that. Yep, we've got that. Thomas, I see Thomas. Anthony Burrows as well. Hello, my darling. Lovely to see you. I see Thomas. Thomas is in there as well.
Thomasinho, yeah. Thomasinho.
5, 4, 3, 2, and it's coming next.
I think we've shouted.
Jane of Torquay, yep. I see Absimus Maximus there. Absimus Maximus as well. Dagon Morningstar. Hi, Richard and Roxanne. Oh, do you know what?
How you doing, dude?
When someone says our full names like that, I'm like, is that us? Oh, yeah.
Well, do you know, we are actually up on the thing as Richard and Roxanne.
Up on what?
Because I changed mine from double because you've been just Roxanne, haven't you? And I thought, do you know what? That makes sense for me to say Richard. Because it's Richard and Roxanne on the Really Woke Show. R.
I do like R's. R's my favourite letter of the alphabet, would you know? Nice one,
Rich. Because it stands for right.
David Bowater in the chat room as well. And we've also got Reverend Hull. Shout out to Reverend Hull too. Lovely to see you as well. And we've also got
We've got William. I'll tell you what.
William.
And William,
hello, my darling.
William Beacle. William Beacle said, "Guy, you guys kept moving the clock back." I can't actually find this comment, but he said, "You kept moving the clock back, so I had a zoot, and now I can't see straight."
Oh my goodness. Mass Awakening.
That's a good thing, dude.
That's a new
That's
name.
a good thing. That means that your tolerance levels aren't quite as high as mine.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. It'd take more than that to bend you sideways, wouldn't it? Mass Awakening. This is a new name. I've not seen Mass Awakening in the chat room before. So thank you for joining us. But nice to see new names in the chat room. Ones that I'm not familiar with anyway. Other people in the chat room, maybe. We've got, there's William. Okay, I'm getting further down the list now. And we've got, hello, Joni Treble 2. Not seen you in the chat room before. Thank you so much for joining us. Brilliant to see new names. And we've also, I can see Alfie Patchin again there. Shout out, thank you. And Crazations, Blazing Stars. Hello, my darlings. Thank you so much for joining us. There's Luke Kennedy. And I think that is it for now. Local Experimentalist, I see you there. And Red
Flat Rico versus Refravity.
Lovely.
And Flat Eddie Flathead.
Lovely to see you all. Great. Thank you so much for joining us. As said before, we Big Brother and the men, lovely jubbly. If we've missed anybody out, really sorry. I'm really tried to make sure we get everybody this evening.
Wordsmith for a year. How you doing, man?
Yes.
Sorry, just shout out quickly.
Wordsmith. No, shout out to you, my darling. We really don't want to miss any of you, and we will try as best as possible to include as much of your comments in the chat room as we go through all of the segments on the Really Woke Show this evening. Also, before we kick off this evening, if you are within reach of London and you fancy a day trip into London tomorrow, then come along to Speakers Corner from 1 p.m. onwards tomorrow. That's Sunday, the 31st of May, Hyde Park, Speakers Corner, London, from 1 p.m. GMT onwards, where the Really Woke Show will be live streaming direct from Speakers Corner. That will involve Rich using StreamYards as well. So Rich will be in my ear because I've got a Bluetooth mic, and he will be able to give me all of your interactions. So if there's things that you want me to include in the conversations I'm having with people, Richard will be able to give me that direct. So this is going to be a new way of doing things. It's going to be new. You really are going to be at Speakers Corner with me, all of you.
This I know, it's going to be so cool, man, because
looking at the screen.
Like last year, that's all it was. It was like I was watching and I was with you, but I was just in the chat room and I was relying on somebody seeing the chat or whatever.
It's not good enough, to be fair. It's not good enough.
We were on the tour. I mean, me and you were chatting all the time, weren't we? On Skype and whatever, FaceTime all the time. So I did feel like I was a bit on the tour, you know, when you were in Europe. But yeah, it's going to be very cool.
We needed to raise the bar a little bit, and we needed to make sure that you guys could interact much more within the conversations, especially with everything that's going on internationally just now. So by doing that, Rich will be able to talk to me and put you guys up on the screen. And not only that, even though I won't be looking at the screen myself, because I can't see that, I may be talking to someone. You may, let's just say there's a guy in a purple top and someone in the chat room hears him saying something. Well, you can pick up on that. You can let Rich know, and Rich will then say in my ear, right, that guy in the red top over there or the purple top, he's just said that. Can you go and say, because I know what it's like when you're watching people out in the street and you're like, no, quickly say that to that person there, because you're seeing things that I can't see.
Rox really is. She's going to look like a roving reporter. So that again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For the chat. I've got the studio in my ear. They're just asking.
Yeah. And if you want to come to Speakers Corner as well, and you have a voice and you want to be heard, then we will get you into the StreamYard as well. You can stream live from Speakers Corner as well. Okay. If we've got a rapport with you, it's as simple as Rich will Skype you or message you or email you a link for StreamYards, and you can go live from Speakers Corner as well. So there can be multiple, like how we add Noel and Adam in, there'll be another feed from Speakers Corner there and another feed from Speakers. That's right. Yeah, even if you just want to go live and mute and you just want to give visuals, you just want to keep going around Speakers Corner and giving everyone visuals.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
we can just have the visuals up, because we can have up to 6 streams going. Well, it's up to six guests. Well, 4, so we can have 4 other guests on the stream. Yeah, that's a really bloody good point, man.
Mega.
That is a really good point.
Tomorrow is going to be mega. Whoa, I didn't account for that happening. Sorry. Right. So we're going to bring you more information on that before the end of tonight's stream, and we will also update you with that again to remind everyone, for those that haven't been in the stream from the start today, about Speakers Corner tomorrow. Also, Vagabond, shout out to you as well. Lovely to see you in the stream as well. Hope all is good and well with you, my darling. And just double checking anyone else that's joined the stream. I think I did see someone else there.
Just want to make sure I shout out.
Oh yeah, that's it. Reed, hello Reed. I've not seen you in the chat room before. Thank you so much for joining us. And obviously to Vagabond as well. It's great having you in the chat room as well. I'm just going to find you. There we go. Vagabond. Lovely to have you as well. More links in the description for how you can support the channel and for all of our channels, including Noel's and Adam's. And I will pop Jessica's onto there eventually as well. And
Instagram, Twitter.
And we'll put Near's as well, because Near is going to be a regular fixture on the Really Woke Show, as will Noel, as will Adam, as will Jessica. And we've got more coming up over the next few weeks as well, of additions to the Really Woke Show crew. And that is something that we're hoping to push out internationally and have really woke representatives all over the place that can get out onto the streets and give us the truth about what's really going on, which is what we intend to do tonight.
It seems that we do have an exceptionally good one, don't we, in America?
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness.
You couldn't do much better, really, could you?
No. No. And actually, if we could make tonight like a 5-hour epic, I've got a link from that person and it's almost an hour long, and I'm like pained by it because it's like I want to play the whole hour, but I'm just going to have to implore all of you lot to go and watch the full length. But we will give you a snippet of it, and we will have more from that person coming up. I've been in contact with them very recently and got that confirmed. So yeah, really pleased about that. Really pleased. Jessie, yay. So without further ado, there's been an absolute movie played out tonight. An absolute movie. Not to mention all of the absolutely horrendous things that are going on internationally, that we're going to bring you up to speed with tonight. So stay tuned. We have got everything from space being absolutely farcical, the mainstream media being the complicit liars that they've always been. We've got the missing link with the malaria drug and zinc. We've got information on that coming up. Also, badly baited out actors within the mainstream media that have been used. Also, we've got a massive segment coming up on Antifa and obviously the international situation that's going on with the Kabul falling and the American situation with the organized groups that have got absolutely nothing. Absolutely, let me repeat this. The organized groups that have got absolutely nothing to do with George Floyd's death. Okay, the organized groups that have got they're called Antifa. And we've also got something coming up about that. We've also got bits and pieces from Derek Gradanego. We've got bits and pieces to show you from literally from the government's website, live and direct. We've got information on Seth Rich. Yes, that's right. He has a name and his name is Seth Rich. We've also got an exclusive thanks to CFR News on covert policing in Birmingham, which is a mind bender. And also, there are a lot more good cops than bad cops. We've got an amazing example of an amazing cop to give you tonight. And then we've got an amazing example of how horrendous cops can be. We're going to bring you information on a 60-year-old that was gunned down on his driveway in front of his family just for having a knife in his hand. And when I mean this guy wasn't running around like a nut, he was literally on his driveway. And yeah, also we've got bits and pieces to bring you regarding the Louis. I don't know, but actually, you know what? I'm just going to bring you more information on what's being. I'm not going to give away too much, to be honest with you. Everything from videos to pictures. We've got more information on George Soros as well. We need to bring you up to date with what that situation is, because that's very real, and there's not much getting away with that. AG Bill Barr. We have got update from that because obviously in many places it appears that the violence is planned, it's organized, and it's driven by an extremist group, a far left extremist group using Antifa-like tactics. So we're bringing you up to date with them as well. So yeah, that's just a small brief synopsis of what is to come this evening. So please stay tuned, because there's that and a whole lot more. We've got breaks lined up so that you can go and get yourself a beverage and sit back down, because this is going to be more than a feature-length movie length for you this evening. So like Alfie's saying in the chat room, really, this is needed for this evening. Popcorn is massively needed. Yes, exactly. Those spacesuits were absolutely unreal. And without further ado, that's right. Without further ado, we are going to give you a quick rundown, shall we say, using a few links. Richard's got his one lined up now, and I'm going to share this from real quick to kind of start us off, because we kind of have to give you the realness on SN4. SN4. Does anyone know what SN4 is? SN4. S for sugar, N for November, 4.
Guess what SN stands for?
Oh, that's going to be a mind bender. I'm going to be here for hours guessing what that one means. But that really is. Before we have to show you the farce of this evening, we have to show you the farce of the last few days, because it's been abysmal. It really has. It's been abysmal. It's been laughable right up until this evening. It's been an absolute right. Luke Kennedy says no. So yeah, we're going to bring you the the final synopsis with them SN4 first before we get to tonight's shenanigans. So yeah, good. I'm glad you don't. That's fine, because that means we've got something to show you that you've not seen before. So we won't tell you what it is. We're just going to show you first and foremost, and then we'll tell you what it is.
I hadn't seen it or heard about it until we saw it. So
oh really?
I'd be surprised. Yeah, I'd be surprised if many people had actually, unless they were specifically looking into it.
Right. Okay. Well, here we go. This is the Starship SN4, and we will tell you what SN4 stands for in a moment. And at this point, she tries to...
It doesn't even look like a rocket, does it?
No. Hold on. Here we go.
More data is more better, and it's only going to mean that we're progressing.
Can you hear it?
The hop and
yep.
Oh, wow, look at that.
That's new.
That is very new.
I don't think we've seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know how normal that is.
Wow.
I wonder if maybe a hose popped out or something, and we're just seeing an uncontrolled vent.
I don't know, but that does seem to be oxygen, right?
Yes, I believe it. I mean, if it was methane, it'd be igniting in the flare, correct?
I don't want that to be. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Rest in peace, SN4.
There we go.
Sorry, no, I have to do it again. So sorry. There was something at the end, but I just stopped it too quickly. 1 second, my darlings. One more time.
More data is more better, and it's only going to mean that we're progressing towards a hop. And oh wow, look at that.
That's new.
That is very new.
I don't think we've seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know how normal that is.
Wow.
I wonder if maybe a hose popped out or something, and we're just seeing an uncontrolled vent.
I don't know, but that does seem to be oxygen, right?
Yes, I believe it. I mean, if it was methane, it'd be igniting in the flare, correct?
I don't want that to be. Whoa! Whoa!
Rest in peace, SN4.
That was not.
Repent.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that bit.
Yeah, that was the most important bit. That was actually the most important bit, to be fair, from that whole clip. So yeah, SN4 means serial number 4. Nothing really creative there, really. Serial number 4 is what SN4 stands for, which is really just quite, well, as I said, it's dismal, isn't it, really? With that being said, I'm going to give you all this link in the chat room. And that is a link for the piece of content that we literally just showed you just now. So with that being said, I can then move on and close that link down. So with that being said, I think we could then go to, I'm hoping that I've got it here. Hold on. I do indeed. Okay. Oh, no. 1 second, my lovelies. Did you share it in the...
Are you looking for the video? It's in our chat. It's in me and you's Skype.
I got it. Thank you. Yeah. I got it. Okay, guys and gals. I've got a great link for you here. And this was from 007. So we are just going to share the screen now. And I should hopefully get it first time. And there we go. So with a bit of luck, you can see this now.
Technically, it's from an Anon, and I just put a different soundtrack on it because the one that was on it wasn't really suitable to be played on our show.
This is true.
To the guy that did it, but
shout out.
We put something a bit alternative on there. So I very quickly put this bit of music together for it.
So for your viewing pleasure, we have this. Be good if it played.
Can't hear it. We can't hear it. Can't hear you neither. You're on mute too.
You've got to love the technical difficulties, right? Really. So just bear with us. We are going to get there. Share audio. for the application window of that. Hopefully you should hear it this time, as that was the general idea.
Hopefully all the technical issues are one of the things that people find most endearing about our show. Can't hear that, no. Can't hear you neither.
Yeah, I've shared this. Can everyone else hear that? Or are we just like, I'm sharing the audio, so I really have no idea why it's not sharing the sound.
Oh, because we're getting gravel, darling.
Okay, do you mind sharing it in the Skype chat again so we can just play it through Skype? Because obviously it doesn't want to share the sound for my application window. So my apologies, my lovelies. While we're just waiting for that to come through in Skype, I'm going to give it a shout out to the chat room. We've got David Bowater, Jane of Torquay, Jelly, Kelly Jelly, Alfie Patching, Danikas, Alfie Patching, Lee G, Ryan Earthington, Flatball, Underground. Hello, my lovelies. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got Dagon Morningstar, Vagabond, Bit of Venom. We've got ourselves in the chat room, Mark Carter. We've got Jesse as well, Blazing Stars, Red Flag Rico. Thank you so much, Rich. Stop screen. And we're going to go there. We're just going to set that up now. Here we go. And I really want to be able to have that there, to be fair. And with a bit of luck, you will just hear it this time. I'm going to share the screen now. Bear with me, my lovelies.
I can't bloody hear it.
Yeah, don't think we've ever been grabbled like this. So this is all new to me. No one's hearing any screen share sound, so no sound, no sound. So I'm clearly not getting to play that. So if you can, while we're live streaming, if you can share that to your YouTube, I will try and share it through YouTube. But it's like this is not cooperating with me at the moment. So my apologies for any sound difficulties there. But yeah, we're extremely unimpressed with what's been going on with the whole space malarkey. With that being said, we thank you. Hold on. Make sure I don't jump too far ahead there. And I think I might have done. Okay, so let's just get back on track. Rich is going to do that. And yeah, graphics are great. Exactly. No. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that uploaded to Rich's YouTube, and we're going to give you the link for that in the chat room, and we will play it as soon as it's ready. But there'll be a little bit of a delay. But yeah, epic fail. Long story short, epic fail with SN4. And then that brings us. Thank you very much.
Hang on, I've got to send you a link because I put it as unlisted.
Perfect.
Just because.
Lovely. No, that's brilliant. Excellent. Where there's a will, there's a way. I just really hope that we're not going to get grabbled from this point onwards, because that would be a real shame if that was to happen. So let me just copy link and paste right there. So yeah, it would be a shame because it's a great piece of content and we would love to show it to you. So with a bit of luck, you will hear it this time because I'm just doing it the normal way. So, okay, share screen, share audio, and Chrome tab. And that should be it. Okay, with a bit of luck, you should hear this time. Mute up if that's all right, and then just let me know if you can't hear it. Perfect, brother. Thank you. That kind of brings the SN4 malarkey to a close. We've kind of shown you the absolute crap show that was. And thank you to Mr. L. Thank you very much. We've just had 5 from Mr. L.
Very much as well. To be honest, I think both me and Roxanne were getting ready for something to happen with this launch, and you know, for that SN4 thing to have been some sort of precursor for that. But thankfully, they didn't bother trying to stage that. They went for the full Monty, and yeah,
they did.
Currently race now, apparently. Anyway,
they did. They really did. Without further ado, shall we add this into the stream? Because this is where the conversation's at now. We've just had the absolute shite show from SN4
here on the West Coast.
And this here was earlier on this evening, wasn't it?
Over on the East Coast there.
Yeah, this was. I'm not sure how long ago.
Are you able to turn the volume down on the commentating on the video?
On board Dragon.
Just so you can talk over it. Obviously, that guy is just waffling.
Flight, so we'll see the first stage fly.
Yeah. Do you want it on, or should I just turn it off?
Turn it off. Yeah, we don't need him waffling away, do we? He's just going to be talking was.
Yeah, I mean, so this is like we're going to skip this on.
Second engine cut off.
No.
Under 9 minutes at about 8 minutes and.
No worries. Cool.
Just going to skip it on a bit, you know.
Yep. No worries. So they do, Steve Bailey. I'm going to just keep popping comments up while we're playing this and talking about it. So this was just a shade under 2 hours ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 hours ago, something. Yeah. 2 hours and 18 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There we go. T-9.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. T-1. Should we have some sound? Should we listen to it?
Yeah, go on then. This is just for SH1Ts and giggles.
T-10.
So this is for SH1Ts and giggles. We're obviously going to show you the absolute SH1T show that they put on for everybody. Distraction much? Because I thought 7 days ago it was risking your life leaving your house, but now they're trying to leave it.
T-minus 15 seconds.
It's laughable.
Yeah, man.
It's laughable.
Here we go. 10,
okay.
9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
0. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon.
Honorary crowd cheer. Where's the crowd cheer? Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Yeah, obviously, America's launch.
I can hear whoopty whoops in the background. That's so funny. Where are they going, Rich? Where are they going? Where do they think they're going? Oh, these guys, these actors.
Hang on, is this one of these rockets that comes down backwards and lands again?
It's the Power Rangers, Rich.
It looks like.
Yo, where's the? Hey. Where's the shot? Is the shot going to come up where it gives us the engine at the rear? You know, the nice little glowy shot.
Yeah, probably. They're going to have and we've got separation from the stage 1 rocket here.
And one
crikey.
So, and this is where it starts to dip. Is it gonna?
Yeah, Jelly Kelly. I keep saying Jelly Kelly. Jelly.
We heard that one.
Listen, dude, you're facing a little bit far ahead of the thing. What we'd like to see. So by now, this is where it's leveled out.
At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about.
Hey! You see the curve there? That's so funny.
Where it's leveled out. Look at that. The goddamn thing's gonna go round the oil.
Shout out to Red Flag Rico, over and out in the ocean, and nailed it. Hey, Rich. Why does it look like they're going down?
Next major event coming up.
Oh, should we clap because they're going down? Okay.
3,600. It's going 3,800, 4,000 kilometers an hour, man.
Wow.
And the second stage engine's going to explode up the back now.
Shout out Maggie Ray. The engines are going to be landing back on Earth on floating platforms off of Island, but they didn't show them. Shout out Maggie Ray. Good. Hey. Joke thing. Joke. Oh, how many? Let's do the guesses.
Now this is where it's actually heading down. Oh, is this where it's going to do that weird wacky thing?
Funny, crazy as this sounds to you, even though it looks like it's going down, it's actually going up.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, though. No, but the thing is, though, if you stood on the other side of the world, then it would be like it was going up in the air. I'm not straight.
Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now.
There we go. Look at the curvature of the Earth right there. You can see
so
that we live on a ball.
The power of this second stage
2 propulsion is nominal.
Which will cut off.
Dude, where's your joystick, man? How are you steering your vehicle?
Today's flight, so a little over 5 minutes to go still.
No, you see, I've been flying spacecraft with my keyboard for the last 30 years.
What is that on the left-hand screen? What is that in the middle monitor? Is that supposed to be Earth? Are they that far away from it?
No, that's the moon.
Wait, rewind it by 30 seconds. Wait, rewind, please. They just tried to cut it when it's... Look, pause. Look, they went, oh, crap. Curve's going, crap. Cut to another shot.
The call out to Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort zone that carries them all
Pause. Look, someone in editing suite went,
Where's that goddamn curve going?
Where's the goddamn curve? Change it. We need screen two.
Excuse me, son. Where's the curve? I don't see no goddamn curve there. Holy shit. No, there it is.
Now somebody get me my coffee. Give me my coffee.
I'm gonna have to get this. I'm gonna have to get this.
You're not
on my screen right now.
It looks flat to me. Cartoon 60 million a day, and they still can't get it looking right. Shout out to Vagabond. Yeah, David Bowie song following up. Yep. Jesse said those two hands never left the coffee room. Shout out to Jesse. Good. The cockpit. That looks so weird. Guess it's all touch screen. Yeah. Oh, crikey.
North Carolina up seaboard.
Yeah.
Gee, look at that, man.
Shout out to the tinfoil crew.
But then they
shout out to the tinfoil crew. Notice the tinfoil. Baker foil on the right hand side there. Where the curve goes.
Change the camera.
Yeah.
Yup, change the back. No, what you doing?
Alfie said, "Where's the curve gone, Rich?" Alfie said, "Where's the curve gone? Where's it gone, Rich?
Where's that curve gone? There it is.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There it is.
Look, if you close one eye,
the dragon pointed in the right direction. Continuing
shout out to the chat room.
There we go.
Really well.
Love it. Using to get telemetry and data back.
I told you we'd have some SH1Ts and giggles. They can't help themselves.
Can you? This is a complete They're laughing at all of us, man. They're laughing.
I'll be honest with you, Rich. That shot on the left of the NASA noughts, yeah, that looks legit. That looks like Tesla, bro.
Mate,
that looks
do you know
like
what that
Tesla
looks
whip.
like there?
That
To
looks
me,
like Tesla whip.
that looks like a bloody
I want one of
freaking
those.
submarine. That looks like they're underwater.
Seat looks comfy. Seat looks
They
real
look like
comfy.
they're underwater.
4 minutes 40 seconds into the flight.
They made it all streamlined and stuff
more
like
than
a whip.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't be happy. I would not be happy flying a spaceship with a keyboard. I'd want a steering wheel or some kind of, something to hold on to. I wouldn't be happy flying a bloody spaceship with a keyboard. How are you supposed to do any maneuvers?
He's just sat there just enjoying the view, isn't he? Look, he's
Where's your mouse, son? Where's your mouse? Why hasn't he got a mouse? Why hasn't it? I mean, at least when you're playing a flight simulator game, you've got your keyboard and you've got your mouse, and it's all,
It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you today. And we're just about a couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the 9 Merlin engines do ignite to help slow the vehicle down as it re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just...
Can you see how quickly those clouds are burning off?
Insane.
Look how quickly the clouds are burning off and moving and forming. And clouds don't move that fast,
still
man.
on second stage, and that's that.
Not when you get that far out at space. Clouds don't move that fast. Look, there's a flat Earth again.
It's just there. It's just there. It's the she's like, wait. She's like, don't worry, we got a curve on the right.
It's definitely hot.
Don't worry.
Definitely hot. You can see that it's glowing red, and you can see it's blasting stuff out of the engines. You can see it. It's definitely real. I'm telling you, it's real.
Timer that's going to continue to burn until 8.
Yeah, shout out Mark Carter. I agree. It's baker foil. It's not that cheap stuff. It's proper baker foil.
That's no, it's not the Lidl or the Sainsbury's Saver baker foil. That's proper labeled shit, man.
After the upper
Dragon
stage gets a
SpaceX
chance.
nominal trajectory.
All those words there, trajectory. Sounds all official now. Sounds all official. That's it. It's a wrap.
You see it? Can you see the two drain covers that they're using for, I don't know, whatever they're meant to be? But they came off the they came out. They were off the drains. Yeah,
This is funny. It's funny. This is actually funny. I can't. What's crazy though is like we're in the middle of like a pandemic with all sorts, and this is what they're dealing with. This is so funny.
This burn lasts about 36 seconds long.
You got people that can't travel a few miles to go and see their family, but these guys, no one ever.
Man,
and then these guys,
they're practicing social distancing, not. Oh no, but it's okay because they're wearing basic hazmat suits, so they're all right.
They're wearing Power Ranger suits. They're wearing Power Ranger suits that don't get coloured.
They're not
They
Power
didn't
Rangers.
pick
This
the
is
pink,
Lost
blue, purple.
in space.
It's nominal. Waitrose Bako foil. Shout out to
Just
Jonathan
within
Hobbs.
a few
Are
seconds
we
of
gonna?
each
How
other.
much longer are we gonna actually entertain this?
Such a
I don't think we
cool
need to
view on
anymore.
your left
All we
screen.
know
We
is
don't.
that we've been taught a lie. That's all we know. We've been taught a lie. I don't know what things are necessarily, but I think we've seen enough over the past few years to know for sure that it's definitely not what they taught us. Goodness only knows what it is, right? But it's clearly not what the Ministries of Education taught us it all was. So I'm not saying that space itself doesn't exist. I'm just saying not as we've been taught it.
Not as they've depicted it to us.
I'm not acknowledging
space
it's there, but it's just not as we've been taught it. Clearly is not what we've been taught. I don't want to get into the realm of claiming what it might be, but it clearly isn't what we've been taught. That's a fact. That's not even a belief. That's just straight up facts. And most people that have come to that truth understand it's not a belief system. How can you believe in the fact that it's not what you've been taught? That's not a belief system. It's just waking up to the fact that you've been mugged off and taught a model as if it's fact, when there's absolutely no supporting evidence for it. So good. I'm glad that we were able to show that, to be honest. Did I say something wrong? You look kind of shocked, Rich.
No,
Right.
I'm trying to stop this bloody recording and it's just not working.
Oh, okay. So as I said, we've done the little giggle at space. As everyone knows, that's what's been ongoing these past few hours. And do you remember the other day when we told you to go over to Netflix?
Do you remember the time?
Did you go over to Netflix and did you all go and watch the Epstein documentary? It came out on Netflix this week. I believe there are 4 episodes so far. They said it's a limited series. There may be more episodes. Press 1 if you've watched any of the Epstein on Netflix episodes. I can post that for us.
Press 1 star if you've watched all 4 of them.
Yeah, 1 star if you've watched all 4. That's a good one, Rich. Good. Okay, 1 star. We've got 1 star there. Yeah, press 1 if you've watched any of the Epstein documentary on Netflix over the last few days, as there was a bit of an explosive accusation on there. So we won't do a spoiler alert too much. We have our reservations about how things were said, and we're going to wait until enough of you have watched it.
Presented, wasn't it?
Yeah, we kind of need more than half of our viewers to have seen it to discuss it, because if we don't, we're really doing a spoiler alert for the majority of you. But what we will tell you this evening is that there was an accusation. Virginia Roberts made a claim that she had relations with Alan Dershowitz after the lawyer, who denies any wrongdoing, of course, bold as brass, said to the camera, as I'm looking at the camera right now, I've never heard her accuse me in public. So if I'm supposed to have done something, let me hear her accuse me in public. Rich has got something to say about this.
I have to look in the camera,
on
look in the
this
camera
show.
On this show and accuse me.
So you know what happened next, right? The camera cuts.
You know what the next shot was?
And it goes to her and she just goes, da-da-da-da-da-da, and bang, she does it. So she basically did it. She made the accusation and boom, there you have it. What is going to happen from there? I don't know, but Rich, what you said was really, really good, because you said they went all arty-farty with it. They should have just had her straight up looking at the camera, but it wasn't. It was like arty. Say how you saw that.
Yeah, like Rox said, for me it would have been much better if it had just been a plain full face shot. She'd looked straight in the camera and said, I had sex with Alan Dershowitz, right? But that's not what they did. What they did was they had a shot of her eyes as she said it, but you could only see her eyes. You couldn't see her mouth moving. And then sort of halfway through, then they cut to her and as she was saying it. So it wasn't entirely... You could see that she had been saying it. It's just that they focused on her eyes and they didn't show her mouth as she started the sentence, and that's what annoyed me, because
it left a sour taste in my mouth. You should have a
full straight view. You should have a straight, unbroken view of somebody's eyes as they tell you the whole thing, the whole of whatever it is that they're going to say, and so that you can see if they flinch or and you can see that their eyes correspond to what's being said. But where you could only see the eyes, you couldn't see the mouth. You don't know if that eye shot, which was a nice, clear, steady eye, you don't know if that's what was actually happening when she was saying the words. But to be fair, her testimony is pretty, it's pretty damn good. She's come out with information that, and there's a picture of her with Prince Andrew, for crying out loud. And he's got some flimsy ass excuse. That might not even be my hand. And and that's the upstairs, the Epsteins. Well, how do you know and I've never been upstairs. How do you know that's the upstairs then?
Well said. Well said. Well said. I thought that myself. He was just so overtly confident in what he was saying. He was kind of volunteering things that you wouldn't say if you were on the defense. You just wouldn't. It was just
so dashingly honourable and chivalrous. And what was the word he used? It was honourable, wasn't it?
Mm.
So when he said, why did you go and stay with him for 3 days after he'd been released from being convicted of having sex with an underage kid? Well, I'm just too much of a gentleman, or I'm just too honourable. Wow. That's all you can say, really, isn't it? Wow. Wow. Did you just say that? And you had a straight face as you said. You actually believe what you're saying, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what it is. He believes what he's saying.
Totally. He
His
believes
ego
himself.
is so out of whack. His ego is so out of whack that he cannot possibly contemplate.
No, he was just really self-confident, like really. So yeah, if you haven't watched that document series on Netflix, go over to Netflix. It's called Filthy Rich. It's a documentary about Epstein. There are 4 episodes so far. And yeah, it's there for the taking. We're going to wait till most of our viewers have seen it until we do an in-depth on it, which we are going to keep talking about it as we go through the shows. And we'll let you know if anything else gets released.
We might even watch it again, eh, Rox?
Yeah, there was a lot to take in. There was a lot of names. There's a lot of names already coming out. There's a lot of names coming out. There's going to be a lot of things that happen off the back of that being released already. Shout out to all of the people that have just joined the chat as well. We really appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to join the Really Woke Show this evening. We've got a lot more coming up. We've got a lot more on what you're talking about, G. I'm just going to get the comment up on the... Where is it? I've just found out that the man and the cop who killed him know each other. They used to work together, and we're going to come to that. So if any of you are sitting there going, is the Really Woke Show going to talk about that? Are they going to show us? Yeah, we've got a lot to get through tonight. We've been going for 50 minutes, and I've only gone through the first 4 tabs. I kid you not. I've only gone through.
We've got 22 tabs for tonight, so we've got.
Yeah, so epic
let's
show.
Crack on, man.
Yes, epic show. So thank you so much to everyone in the chat room. We're going to try and bring you all in. And I also want to remind everybody that the Really Woke Show will be streaming live from Hyde Park Speakers Corner, London tomorrow from 1 p.m. GMT. Those of you that want to go out for a day trip, by all means, go along to Speakers Corner. Go and speak about the things that you are passionate about. If we've got a rapport with you and you want to stream live, even if it's just to give everyone an overview of what's going on, we'll share a StreamYard link with you right there. I'll be there myself, and you can stream yourself if you want. Shout out to
Richard Really Woke Show, man. Come and be part of the Really Woke Show, innit?
Yeah. Shout out to Richard Lopez in the chat room. Hello, my brother. Lovely to see you in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
Islam. Another Richard, awesome name. Richard's an awesome name.
Oh.
It is.
Well, I mean, we were looking into earlier. How many kings were there called Richard?
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. The Really Woke Show will be going to have a look at Buckingham Palace tomorrow. We'll be going to look and see if the Gurkhas are still outside, if it's still boarded up, if the crest has been removed. We have been looking into the story that's been going around about the true monarchy of England, and we're looking into that guy John. We've also been looking into something else about another guy called Michael who's in Australia. It's funny how Australia seems to be coming up, but this is something that we're not going to bring you yet because we haven't done enough research into it. We're going to get,
still much more
get something substantial for you by the time we bring it to you, but we are looking into it. And the Really Woke Show will be going to Buckingham Palace tomorrow to go and have a look at what the situation is, because we can look at pictures, we can look at videos, but until we go there firsthand, boots on the ground, we're not really going to know what's going on. What's the crack on the new King Richard? It's another Richard. You got to love that. What is the family called? Not Patagonia. Why am I thinking the Patagonia?
No, the Plantagenets. The Plantagenets. Okay,
the Plantagenets. So the Lancasters and the Yorks. Apparently the Queen is the Duke of Lancaster. It's all skullduggery anyway, but yeah, we are on it. We're on it.
We're looking into that as well, weren't we? We were looking into.
We're on it.
It's who is the Duke of Lancaster? Who's the Duke of Lancaster?
The Queen. Really,
the Queen? Why isn't the Queen the Duchess of Lancaster? No, it's because when was it? 1533 or whenever it was. What's his name? Was a duke. He was the Duchy of Lancaster when he was made king. Was it Henry or not? No, it was. Perhaps it was Edward, actually.
Yeah.
Not very good with my King.
Maybe.
Sure, I'd be better if they were English.
Possibly. All I know is that the further we're looking into it, the deeper it's getting. Just the deeper it's getting in general, the further we're looking into it. And also, I'm just saying this is a polite thing. I'm just Tornagon's just stated that the Really Woke show is scared of anyone with a views counter to our own. Not very nice, really woke but closed mind. No, honestly, there's an actual innocent response to that. I'm just sick and tired of getting trolled by troll accounts that put 200 thumbs down on my content and actually troll my content to the point where it's actually just got boring. So unfortunately, I've closed my comments off and I've shut down the fact that you can see how many likes and dislikes I've got, because it's actually not about that. It's just about the content and what we're talking about. But I appreciate you putting your point of view across. I do appreciate you putting your point of view across, but I just want that, known from the start.
Anybody that's been subbed to me for a while knows that I had my comments shut off for a really long time because of trolls. It's because comments and likes are the two weapons that they've got.
Yeah, I'm not here to get distracted by all of that, and I'm not really here for any praise either. I'm just here to speak my mind because I'm passionate about it. But I do appreciate you tuning in, and I also appreciate you going into the chat room and putting your 2 cents forth in the chat room. I understand that we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay too. But I don't necessarily need to be on the receiving end of horrendous troll accounts that are trolling me on a perpetual basis just for being myself. So on that note, unfortunately, you're not able to see the likes and you're not able to comment just now. I'm sure eventually the trolls will tire and they will move on elsewhere and go and cyberbully somebody else. But for now, while I'm the target of people's bullying tactics, that's how I'm going to keep it, I'm afraid. So, but I'm doing my best to actually keep freedom of speech going as much as possible in the chat room, unless people are rude and swear and are openly condescending to people. Everyone's got the right to say what they want, and we will honestly try our best to defend your right to say what you need to say. Even if we don't agree with what you're saying, we'll still defend your right to say what you need to say, because that's fair.
As long as you're not being offensive in the way you're saying it.
Yeah, I hope that kind of covers that, so that everyone understands where we're coming from. Yeah, are we good? Rich, chat room, everyone. Did we kind of cover that? Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, like I said, just be respectul, innit? There's no need to belittle anybody or be insulting or derogatory about people because they hold a different view. I've been guilty of it in the past. I have. I can still get triggered by people if they're particularly offensive to me.
It's a work in progress, isn't it?
So, yeah, I'm definitely a work in progress, man.
I think we all are. To be fair, I think we're all still a work in progress. I think majority of people in the
look, I even put a shirt on for you lot. How often do you see that happen, eh?
You see, and I think all of you in the chat room would agree as well that we're all pretty much still kind of going through that. We're all kind of progressing in our own way. Bret Hart as well, Richard Lopez, Mass Awakening, Red Flag Rico, Mark Carter, Jane of Torquay, Blazing Stars, Lee G, Mass Awakening, and shout out Tornagon. Sorry that we weren't able to suffice what you needed, but thank you for being polite. And it doesn't cost anything to be polite and cordial to people. And I feel that, Tornagon is a good example of someone that doesn't agree with something but didn't have to get rude to disagree. Does that make sense? I think that's a great example of that. Naikas, thank you, my darling. Lucy,
hey Jane, how you doing?
Jane as well, lovely. Screws Chops. I don't know.
Loose
Screws Chops. The Eye as well.
And
thank you for joining us.
How you doing, Alison?
Ricardo as well. Lovely to see you, Ricardo. Steve Bailey there. And Prenta Ivanovic. Prenta, lovely to see you in the chat room.
It's either Ivanovic or Ivanovic.
Okay, yes, I may have said that wrong. Claire as well in the chat room. Lovely to see you too, my darling. Thank you so much.
How you doing, man?
David's still there as well. So yeah, great. We've been going for 59 minutes. I'm going to play this before we go to a break, because this is something that I wanted to share a light on.
That's news, man. How you doing, buddy?
Lovely. So hopefully everyone will be able to see this on their screen. And I really wanted to just highlight this because everyone lives in some form of community, and realistically speaking, I've been supporting my local community a lot more since this situation happened. I used to heavily rely on the big businesses, but I've kind of looked more for my local community, and I've found that I've not been ripped off by my local community. In fact, I've been much more helped by trying to source my goods within my local community. And I know there's a lot of people in the chat room that advocate that. I've seen David Weiss on Facebook advocating for his local businesses as well. And this is a really good opportunity to take care of smaller businesses that have been eaten up in the past by bigger blue chip companies. And obviously we all know that the mainstream media is complicit. But this was a 4 a.m. talking point that really worried me, because I was like, yo, they're really going for the small businesses here. They really just want like those small businesses that are literally like this are taking it hitting, and no wonder, because they're still trying to brainwash people into, you know, just straight up doing as they're told. Sorry, I've got to stop the screen again because I think I didn't share the sound. My apologies. So yeah, I'm going to play this. It's just literally a couple of minutes, 1 minute and a half.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Amazon has transformed its operations in response to COVID-19 to protect employees and keep packages flowing.
Amazon has transformed its operations in response to COVID-19 to protect employees and keep packages flowing.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy while still delivering those packages to your doorstep.
The company is keeping employees safe and healthy.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy. The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy.
It spent $800 million on increased wages and overtime pay during the pandemic.
It has spent $800 million on increased wages and overtime pay during the pandemic.
It has spent $800 million on increased wages and overtime pay during the pandemic.
It has spent $800 million on increased wages and overtime pay during the pandemic.
Amazon says it has spent $800 million on increased wages and overtime pay during the pandemic.
Every single one of Amazon's workforce of nearly 1 million people has played a critical role in making these changes happen.
I hope that they feel that passion that we have for safety,
so they can stay safe and healthy while you do too.
Millions of Americans.
So yeah, again, like I said, I thought that was quite a worrying, you know, it's almost like it's being orchestrated, quite literally. Lots of people are upset by seeing things like that, and a lot of people are opinionated on it. I can see all of you in the a lot of people obviously know this, as a lot of you in the chat room do as well. But when people see it word for word like that, going through various sentences, they don't even try and vary it and make it sound like their own. They just give it word for word. And once they've got that 4 a.m. talking point, there's absolutely nothing that will stop it that day. They'll make sure that it gets out and it's said the way it needs to be said. And this is something that we're going to keep bringing to your attention, because the mainstream media are complicit. Sheep will know more. The Great Awakening people genuinely are waking up. And with that being said, we've been going for an hour, Rich. So I've got a break coming up, if that's okay with you, and in the chat room. We're going to release you for a few minutes, and we are going to play you a track that was done by 007, covered. The first one we're going to play you today is Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, covered by 007. And he's done this for our viewing and entertainment pleasure. So you've got about 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go and make a drink.
Because it's 6.5 minutes.
6.5 minutes to go make a drink, let the dog out, use the bathroom, get yourself nice and comfy for part 2. Because as I said, tonight is going to be a feature length show. We're probably going to be going for about 3 or 4 hours. So if you're watching this on a replay, I would definitely segment this by, watching it up to the next. I'm going to try and cut it each hour and break it up with the track, so that when people are watching it back on a replay, they'll know that every hour it gets broken up by one of these. And then obviously we're not going to be going live 7 nights a week. We're going to be going live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and most weekends. So for those of you that like to catch up, you'll have bits and pieces to watch on the days between. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to share this now with a bit of luck with the audio. And we will see you all.
Something really big happens on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and then we might go live on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yes, well said. Yeah. So if something big happens, then that's another story altogether. We'll obviously go live if something big happens. But yeah, we're going to break now for about 6.5 minutes. Go and get yourself a drink, let the animals out, use the bathroom, get yourself nice and comfy, get some popcorn, and we shall see you very, very soon. Here we go.
Plenty of sinkholes, but they're not. Wait, guys, hold on a minute here. Hey, Richard.
Get a shiver without this room part of me South of you stop and you move everything. That's going Dixie, double full time. Feel alright when the yellow is ring. Then you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Gonna rain till the jazz go down. Competition with faces. Off the homes blowing that sound. Way on down south. Way on down south in London town. Check out Guitar George. He moves all the chords. Mine is strictly rhythm, wanna make you cry or sing. Just no guitar is all he can afford. He gets up under the lights to play his thing. Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a big time job and he's doing all right. He can play the honky tonk like anything. See you up Friday night with the Sultans. Yeah, with the Sultans of Swing. The crowd of young boys just spin around the corner. Drunk and dressed in their best brown baggers and their platform soles. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. They're the Sultans. Yeah, the Sultans that play Creole. right up to the microphone. He says at last just as the time bell rings. Good night now, it's time to go home. Mix it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. Here we are the Sultans of Swing.
I can assure you I won't be watching daytime television.
You're muted, babe. Unless, of course, you're
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that, brother. I do really, really enjoy that song. I hope everyone in the chat room enjoyed that song as well as much as I did. And I just
want to shout out my chat room just for a second to my
please do.
glorious new Scottish viewers. I've come over from Kit Clips. I'd like to give you all a big shout out. If you do or do not know, Roxanne, take the camera off me. The darling Roxanne.
Hold on, no, stay there, bro. Stay there like that. Yeah. Go on, carry on talking.
Yeah. Roxanne is actually Scottish, because if anybody has actually recognised it in her name, she's called Roxanne Glen, and the Glens are quite famous Scots, are they not? She's muted again.
Sorry about that. I am Scottish as well. I have got a wee accent that I can put on from time to time.
This is actually Roxanne's real voice. She doesn't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. It's actually a real voice. Right, the London voice is all just a big act.
Right, I'm going to give you.
I'm joking.
I'm going to take that one, and you can have that one. I'll take this one.
Look who it is! Oh,
in addition,
can we have some? It's Jessica Glenn. It's Jessica Glenn. Yes, Jessica Glenn.
She popped
There we
up.
go.
Shout
I'll do it a cappella for you, Jess. It's Jessica Glenn. Yes, Jessica Glenn.
Love it. Oh. We've done that at the same time. So yeah, Jessica has been, obviously awake for a while now. She's come on the show before. You guys have heard her opinion on things. She's awake to a lot of things. So are her friends. And there was a few things that you said to me this week, and I was like, you know what, I want to share that with everyone. I popped it onto my community section, and I'm hoping some of you have seen it. But we showed it to you on the Really Woke show probably about a month ago now. And when we showed it to you, it had a few thousand views. The following day, Q posted it on the Q map. And I'm really pleased to tell you it's still doing the rounds. And what am I talking about? Just come a bit closer to the mic because I can't stretch it any further to you. What am I talking about?
Hi, Jeff.
So, hi everyone. Yeah, so I was on TikTok because I am every day, and I came across a video, and I was like, "Wow, such a deep video." I wasn't really too sure about it, but I was thinking, "Oh, I swear, Mum's done content on that in the past," and I was just shocked with how many views and likes it's got. And yeah, there was a lot of things in the comment section about it. Yeah.
So the Out of Shadows video that we showed you, it's on the official Out of Shadows. I think it's Out of Shadows channel. It's on. I'm going to share that in the chat room for everybody again. But yeah, you said that you're it's still doing. It's like shared like wildfire.
People, yeah, there was a lot of shares on it, like definitely over 2,000.
So given that the video's got like a good few million views, I think it's got 13, 14 million views now. I think those of you that remember when we remember the two guys, for those of you that are going Out of Shadows, what are you talking about? Do you remember the stunt guys? The stunt guys that were talking about Hollywood and everything else that's going on, and we showed you probably about half of it, and we just implored the rest of you to go and watch it. A lot of people carried on from there on in, but those of you that were there on that night with the Really Woke show, you'll know how little views that had when we all watched it for the first time, and then we watched it all of us watched it over the next 7 days, just completely blow. We thought, oh, with the bread and circuses being gone, like all of the kids your age, most of the sports that they would normally be watching or things that they would normally be doing.
Yeah.
So do you think kids your age have been looking into things a lot more now than they would have before? Or do you think everyone's are still like blind eyes?
No, definitely. I think it's a good time to kind of let everyone delve into what's going on behind real things, because no one has the focus and the tail focus from it, because there's no entertainment there. So it's given everyone much more of an opportunity to actually look into things, and people have been questioning the government a lot more as well. Yeah, they're saying like the lockdown rules are chopping and changing, and it doesn't make any sense when there's still a lot of things.
So there is a lot of
on.
people going, this doesn't make any sense.
If it was a real pandemic, I'm sorry, slip of the tongue. If it was a real pandemic, and people's lives were really truly at risk to the extent that they've been saying, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So with that being said, you'd say most of your friends are looking into things here, there, and everywhere, whether it's government news, whatnot. Okay, so also Jessica's doing her A levels, as she said. She's in her first year of A levels. She's looking to finish her A levels at the end of term next summer.
This time next year, basically.
Yeah, this time next year. What I'm going to let her, I could speak for her, but she's 17, so I'll let her speak for herself. What has the school told you with regards to going back to school?
They haven't really given us too much, but they've kind of said like we're still going to do exams despite the lack of, face-to-face teaching and exam practice. But they haven't actually given us a deadline, but they said there might be face-to-face contact, but they haven't been saying that recently, so I have no clue what's going on to do with A levels and mocks as well that gets into unis.
So the next day you're expected in school is?
Well, what the news is saying is June the 15th.
What's your school telling you?
But they haven't told us. No, there's not a specific date.
So you've heard it here first with regards to that. There's a lot of talk going around, as you've just heard from Jess. There's a lot of talk going around. The schools are saying a lot of things, but we've not got anything in concrete. I know that the primary schools are going back, but both of my children are in secondary, so that's not really going to apply to me. So I'm not sure how helpful I'm going to be able to be with regards to primaries, but I'll keep you all abreast of what's going on with my two. I've got one in year 7, and I've got one that's in first year of sixth form, which is classed as year 12.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll keep you up to date with that. With the other scenario, was it you? Did you ask me the other day about the Netflix thing with Epstein? Have any of your friends watched that yet? But you said that you were looking to watch it pretty soon. She hasn't watched it yet. I'm not sure if she's going to be watching it on her own. But she did ask about it. So I know that the kids, they're not going to take very long before they start watching things like that on Netflix and informing themselves as to what's really going on. Also, another thing that I just want to ask her, and I'm asking her this blind on purpose because, as I said, there's a lot of things that have happened over the last 48 hours. And so I'm not going to put you on the spot. You'll either know or you'll not know. There's no right or wrong answer. So with regards to the riots that you're seeing going on in America, and what's been the general gist between you and your friends regarding that?
Well, we're all in kind of shock with the whole situation, to be honest. I think it's the outrage, like that's outrageous that things like that still go on to this day. However, like personally, I sort of saying like,
have you clocked any Antifa malarkey with the vandalism and stuff? Have you been able to kind of clearly see that being different from people that just want to go out and say what they need to say?
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, there's a lot of that. It's crazy, the whole situation. There's people that don't really speak about stuff speaking up for it. And yeah, the whole situation is just mad. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the writing's right. It's just making people think people of color are bad because that's all.
Do you think that people that are rioting, people that are causing vandalism, people that are being violent are really truly there for the right reasons?
No.
So you guys can even see that from where you're sitting. You don't need mainstream media to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Do most of your friends believe what the mainstream media is telling them, or are they pretty much awake to the fact that the mainstream media is complicit?
I'd say since the start of lockdown, they've kind of realised the government doesn't always show the whole truth, because people have kind of realised the situations are like a lot more bad than they say it is. So that's made people question a lot of things about the government.
Okay, so that is a quick snippet from the daughter tonight. There will be more from Jess. Obviously, she's a regular fixture on the Really Woke show. She's also been quite busy with her friends online and getting on with schoolwork and whatnot.
Yeah.
So maybe we could see you maybe towards I know it's Saturday today, I'm going to Speaker's Corner tomorrow, but maybe you come on Friday.
Okay.
If you're not busy.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I can make that
all right, chat room. This has been my daughter Jess. She's been giving you the update from where her and her friends are at with everything that's going on, and obviously we've got all of that to talk about tonight. But she's going to be socializing with their friends on social media and online, so I'll let her get on with that. But yeah, shout out to the chat room for saying hi to Jessica. I saw all those comments there. You got a lot of hellos there, my darling. And yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right,
thank you.
I'll see you later.
Take care.
Great. Okay, so that was my daughter. She'll be 18 next year, and she's got a mind of her own. She's awake, as I said, and she does have an opinion on things, and she did want to just come in and give her 2 cents worth on where her head's at just now with everything, because obviously the last time she was on was over a week ago. So yeah, either way, that's brought you up to speed with where the teenagers are at the moment. And she will be more than happy to update you on where she's at with things as we go through the weeks. So without further ado, we are back now after the break. I can't believe we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. And my goodness, we just have not even broken into these tabs yet, bro. So we've got to like clamber on. Things are going at warp speed right about now. Okay. Just bear that in mind as we go through warp speed. I'm using Star Trek terminology here because why not? They'd all have to be on in it, wouldn't they, Rich? But with that being said, we've got our favorite puppet that's a NAF actor. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to put you through Anderson Cooper for a second because, well, warp speed, that's what we're saying here. That's the key word with this. So just hopefully, can you hear this?
Well, actually, it turns out there were.
Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, actually, it turns out there were a lot of people who were willing to sign up for this study to do what I'm doing now. This study recruited 45 healthy people in the Seattle area initially, and actually thousands of people signed up to be in that group. My motivation for wanting to participate in this trial is pretty simple. You know, it's just this is one way I can help out, and I'm fortunate to be in good health. So if stepping up and taking part in this clinical trial could speed up a vaccine, that's well, actually, it turns out there were a lot of people who were willing to sign up for this study.
This here, obviously, we showed you a bit of a malarkey story over here. I'm going to give you the link for this because obviously when I see Anderson Cooper, I just think, bad actor. And I feel the need to bring you up to speed with things. So with that being said, Anderson Pooper Scooper, shout out to the grand beard. Oh, I nearly said that whole word. Beard. Grand beard. I'm just going to say the grand beard and leave it at that. Mike.
Grand beard yank. The grand beard yank. We'll call him the grand beard yank.
Yeah. They want. I think
that's Apple Charlotte's boyfriend, apparently.
Who?
Apple Charlotte's boyfriend. She's brought him in.
Oh, cool. Hello. Love it. Absolutely love new people being in here. This is brilliant. So yeah, I'm just going to give you the link for that. Here we go. And copy again. I think I've got it right this time. No, that didn't work. Okay, well, it's in the chat room already, so we'll go with that. I'm going to push that one back there to the end because it would be better for me to have Adam around to go through that. So if that's all right with you, and we're just going to move on to the next tab, which is
I
a
don't know
doozy.
what that one is because I can't see
Don't
what you're
worry.
looking at, but I'm
That's
sure
not
you're
a problem.
talking.
Yeah, I promise you. Yeah. Oh, thank you, the Naikas. A lot of people say that as well. A lot of Naika's just gone, yeah, she looks identical to me. A lot of people have said that, yeah, thank you, everyone. Alfie as well, to all of you that have given Jess shout outs. I really appreciate that. With that being said, we've got a link coming up now. And for some of you, you'll remember this. Okay. Some of you will remember this and you'll go, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. No, is that what? Wait, we're not trying to say that. Okay. Disclaimer. Okay. All me and Rich are doing here is showing you what we've seen. And really, we're sitting here doing this. Don't know. So we're basically showing you this because this is bipartisan, okay? We're not by no way telling you to believe this, but because we saw it and Rich went, yeah, we need a shot of the ears, Rox. We need a shot of the ears. And I went, you're right, but is that enough of a reason to not show people this? Not sure. So with that being said, just think of the emoji that goes like this. And this is me and Rich right about now, looking at this because we're like, I mean, let me see that video again. All right, play it one more time. That's what we did today. That's exactly what we did. And that's why we're showing you this now, because there's a lot of talk going on. There's a lot of talk. There's man was a security guard, man worked with my man was married to the other officer's sister, and now she's filed for divorce, but she was the Chinese officer's sister's. So that was his brother-in-law, and my man worked with my man for over a year. And then I've seen another report saying that the guy that's passed away was a porn star, and it was he did something with some Brinks girl, and that's all gone viral, and it's just all gone crazy. And Antifa's now got involved on the streets. So it's an absolute SH1T show. So we're going to try and take you through things as clearly and concisely as we absolutely can. And we'll start off with this. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. And we're just going to go through this bit by bit, and hopefully we'll find our way through. Right. So with that being said, just remember the emoji I told you to remember with this. Okay. Just, well, I'll play it and we'll talk after.
To come to the microphone, so we'll listen. Okay. So my name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut. I've been contacted by so many people and agencies wanting to know how we're doing, and I just thought that this might be the best way to share those feelings with everybody. I'm not mad, because I have my agency to make sure that I use this event to do what I can. To come to the microphone, so we'll listen.
Playing it one more time for you.
Okay. So my name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut. I've been contacted by so many people and agencies wanting to know how we're doing, and I just thought that this might be the best way to share those feelings with everybody. I'm not mad, because I have my agency to make sure that I use this event to do what I can.
Now look. We're just going to leave it on the screen for a minute because, like I said, we don't know what to think at this point, but we've seen this. We can't see the ears properly, but see this little emoji up here? Shout out to DD2527. See this little emoji right here where he's going, right, I don't know what to think. Don't know what to think anymore. Just gets weirder and weirder. So we're not telling you this is the guy, but we're not telling you he isn't either. We're going, this is floating about. And has anyone else seen this? Because like I said, there's so many weird connections. Like the victim was a porn star. The victim was a security officer. The victim worked with the guy that killed him. The guy that killed him apparently was married to the sister of the other officer that we named that night. We actually named both officers that night. Do you know that, Rich? While the mainstream media was protecting his identity, we done named the guy the first night. And that actually is, I think, the last time we went live, and if not the time before. Kelly Jelly, shout out to you. Shout out to Red Flag Rico. Shout out to Screws Chops. Shout out to Vagabond. Shout out to the Brand Beard. Shout out to Claire, James, Mark Carter, and Apple Charlotte, Infection Solutions.
Can I give a little shout out?
Yeah, please do.
Can I shout out Jesus is not the Messiah and Mixie Top and Taylor for Jail in 2020 and Geordie Girl and Brighton Breezy Breakfast Billy something in our Veer Infection Solutions.
Thanks to everyone.
Just want to shout you guys out as well, man. Nice try. Well, it's not working, but you know, keep trying. Come on.
Yeah, shout out to Maggie Ray as well. So yeah, we thought we'd bring this to your attention, and I'm going to also share the link for that in the chat room right now for you. Those of you that are on Instagram, go and take a look. Yeah, the Grand. That's what we thought. The similarities are there, but we can neither confirm
nor deny.
Confirm nor deny. So we just thought, you know what, we've seen it. And yeah, Rich thinks the same as you, James. I think without ears, we can't really say that's him. Yeah, victim. There's issues with the victim, but that doesn't take away from where we are now. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next bit and shout out to Terrence. We do love Terrence. Terrence is a great content maker. Great guy.
What? I love Terrence Trent D'Arby and Terrence Stamp. So Terrence, always generally pretty cool.
Love it. Okay, so CNN is under attack. I do not condone riots, but this looks peaceful to me and people just want justice. I love how they are remodeling this place, but excuse me, sir, I think you missed a window. So have a look.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, dashing through the snow. Choo choo, choo choo. So what's going on today?
That being said, we've got CNN getting bashed. It's funny that it's only the other week we were sitting here saying, well, Sky and BBC have got it coming to them, haven't they, really? It's not going to be long before people go outside the mainstream media places and cause havoc.
I'd just like to make the disclaimer that we were absolutely not encouraging or trying to entice anybody into rioting. We certainly didn't instigate these CNN riots.
But I'll be honest with you, while I saw CNN getting absolutely destroyed, I was sitting here with my tea going,
Missed the window there.
And I said to Rich as a joke, like, is this what's good today? So what's good today? And he went, I don't know. MSM's getting trashed, Rox. And I went, wow. Like, no one ever. And then we wake up today and that's the topic of discussion. CNN's getting trashed. Really? Really? Like, really? Not small businesses getting taken out. Someone's actually taking out. Like, are they going to call Ryan Seacrest in and do like a whole extreme makeover? And then in a minute, everyone's going to be like, move that bus. Move that. Here's the new CNN. Like, I'm waiting for Ryan Seacrest to make a whole big series out of this. Like, we're going to take all the CNNs, we're going to do an extreme makeover, new people, new reports, we're going to get truth and transparency from here on in, and then we're going to get a big bus, then we're going to move, we're going to unveil it all to you. Because, like, you know, the mainstream media died. They died. They've lost control. Like, people are the news now. Yes, James Owens, we've got more on that in this show. This is something that we are going to bring to you this evening. And without further ado, we are going to bring you more on that. But we have to go through a few things first because George Soros has to be mentioned. And we will get to him in a short while. But in the meantime, we need to bring this to your attention. And this is one I'm going to share the screen for because you really do need to like dig on this for yourselves. Mainstream media wasn't completely asleep at the wheel. They caught one. So apparently, this guy here is linked to George Soros. Okay. Antifa. Look for who's bailing them out. Like, who's helping to bail out these Antifa and commies and roaches who are destroying America as we type this. This was from 1 second ago in MN via Unicorn Riot Live. Who's paying for this? Soros? Like, what's good? Like, what's good here? Because this is bait. Yeah? We've already talked to you about the House of Saud on the Really Woke Show. We've talked to you about the House of Rothschilds. We've talked to you about Soros being a puppet master and that you can't afford Barry to get exposed and arrested. D-class. FISA brings down the house being the cabal system that has been ingrained for too long. Apparently, the family has now hired their own pathologist after official autopsy finds that he died of police restraint combined with heart disease and potential intoxicants in his system and not by asphyxiation or strangulation by the officer. So this is where it's had to go now. The family's had to get involved because there's skullduggery afoot. There's just skullduggery afoot all over this situation from left to right, literally. Yeah. So the next thing that we are going to show you is, let me just get my screen share. I'm going to give you the link for that in the chat room before I move on to the screen share, if you just bear with me. And I'm having to do it like this because this is the technology I'm moving with. So just bear with me. Oh, crikey. There's always something that happens, isn't there? My bad. Okay, hopefully it'll work now. That should work with a bit of luck. I'm getting grabbled as I'm trying to do that. It's like they're trying to make it extremely difficult. So George Soros, some of you may know who George Soros is. Some of you may be like, George Soros, I've heard of him, but what's he really got to do with all of this? We need to play this because it will give you a bit of background on what's going on with the current situation. Sometimes past proves future. They were very sloppy at certain stages. So this is about 8 minutes. And we're going to play this for you all now. 8 minutes, and yeah, hopefully, can you hear this? Oh, can you hear that? Crikey.
No.
Makes huge bets on whole.
Yes.
Good. Right. Brilliant.
Can't actually hear anything now.
All the financial titans in
Oh, there we go.
20th century. None are more complex or mysterious than George Soros. Like Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and the Rockefellers, he amassed billions through ruthless business decisions. But now George Soros is worried. He thinks the global economy is coming apart at the seams, and that the world needs to be protected from people like George Soros.
Right now, his Quantum Group hedge fund moves $14 billion of rich investors' money around the world every day, looking for profits and answering to no one. Soros makes huge bets on whole countries and economies. Last year, when he saw cracks in the Asia boom, he began selling the currency in Thailand. Traders in Hong Kong followed suit, triggering a financial crisis that plunged much of Asia into a depression.
In the last 2 years, you've been blamed for financial collapse of Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and Russia.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Are you that powerful?
No, I think there's a great misunderstanding.
The Prime Minister of Malaysia said that the region spent 40 years trying to build up its economy, and along comes a moron like Soros with a lot of money, and it's all over. He called you a criminal.
It's easier for him to blame an outside force than to admit that they were mismanaging their economy and their currency. The French finance minister talked about hanging speculators from lampposts. I think that I've been blamed for everything. I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do.
What's it like to have a statement that you make have such serious, grievous consequences? I mean, you can, it looks to me like in a number of situations, you can take a position against a currency or make a statement, and the whole country falls apart.
Well, it's a tremendous sense of responsibility, actually. And it's also a humbling experience because I am actually trying to do the right thing. And sometimes what I do has an unintended negative consequence, as it did in Russia.
Last month, he brought the First Lady with him for a look at some of the projects his foundation is funding.
This is Mr. George Soros.
While hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews were being shipped off to the death camps, George Soros accompanied his phony godfather on his appointed rounds, confiscating property from the Jews. These are pictures from 1944 of what happened to George Soros's friends and neighbors.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust, and you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old. And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, of course, I could be on the other side, or I could be the one from whom the thing is being taken away. But there was no sense that I shouldn't be there, because that was, well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. And it was whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator. The property was being taken away.
Are you religious?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Soros told us he believes God was created by man, not the other way around. which may be why he thinks he can smooth out the world's imperfections. Part of the reason he is so rich is that the Soros hedge funds operate offshore in the Netherlands Antilles to avoid scrutiny by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So even while Soros tells Congress and the Treasury that hedge funds must be regulated to stop the global crisis, he's avoiding the rules.
Why is it that that Americans can't invest in the quantum fund? It's an offshore fund. Why is that?
Because the fund is not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. We are not
licensed to do business in the United States.
That's right.
Because?
Because we are not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Because we find it more convenient to operate without it.
So in some ways it's to escape regulation.
Yeah, that's right.
But you've been sitting here talking about the need for regulation.
Yes, and whatever regulations are imposed, we will obey. We already.
One of your money managers told us that George really does think he's a god.
Okay. As I said, that is quite disturbing, but people need to understand that that guy is a puppet master. He's definitely one of them.
Do you remember the video I did about him last year? I was prompted, and I used that exact video. But I made a video out of it because I was prompted by an advert that came up on YouTube for stopping world hunger. And so I made a video saying, why don't you get this wonderful philanthropist? If it'll only cost whatever it is they say it is, it will cost each average Joe. Why can't the multi-billionaire help world hunger? He's a philanthropist. He's meant to be helping people with money. It seems that he only wants to help certain people with money, and only if they're going to do something for him.
I'll put the link for that in the chat room for everybody. He is a major figurehead as far as the Antifa thugs that Donald Trump tweeted about. That's something else that we've got to show you this evening as well. He has basically confirmed Antifa this evening. And that's amazing. Sorry, I'm just going to try and find it. Can you believe that? I've got all my links set up and I can't find it. That's insane.
Do you know what we should try and do for next time? Maybe you do, especially when we've got like 22 links to work through. You have half and I'll have half.
Oh no, I've got it. It's cool. It's that one. That's really good, isn't it? So that's that one. That's great. That's really narrowed the freaking field down. Okay, so this happened today. She's doing this, hopefully. There we go. Wow, that was a really lucky link. Click. So, do you all remember a while back? Was it maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks? Was it maybe 3 weeks? We showed everybody the Antifa. Maybe we should get it back up for everybody so that they remember.
It's in the Skype chat.
Lovely. Yeah, perfect. I'm just going to pop that there. And
Unless you want me to get it up.
I'm on it now, don't worry. So as you can see, the president tweeted that today. That was on the screen just for you a second ago. And now I'm going to just take you to this and ask you, do you remember when we showed you this? I remember you making a comment. I think Noel and Adam were actually here when we showed everyone as well. That was them in 1933. They were the parliamentary wing of the Communist Party of Germany. And now in 2017, they're the parliamentary wing of the Democratic Party of America. Anti-fascist action. Antifa. So this is now, I suppose, where we delve in a little deeper, because that's unfortunately what we have to do here, because this is all uncomfortable. This is all not very nice at all. But it is what it is, regardless. Antifa is anti-American. They are considered domestic terrorists. They are organized. They are fascists, extreme radicals, violent. It looks like there is some Homeland Security action coming on the horizon. And it looks like that will leading to investigations that will lead to domestic and foreign support targets being dealt with. It would seem quite quickly on that one. Donald Trump said today, actually, no, he didn't. He said it on July the 27th, 2019. And that is something that I can, if I just stop sharing that for a second, I can come back to you here and I can share this little lovely, if I could just find it again. 20B. Okay, 20B. So I'm just going to try and get this right first time for you all. Share screen. With a bit of luck, this will be it. Brilliant. As you can see, that's from July the 27th, 2019. Consideration is being given to declaring Antifa the gutless, radical, left whack jobs who go around hitting only non-fighters, people over the heads with baseball bats, a major organization of terror, along with MS-13 and others. It would make it easier for police to do their job. Well said, Mr. Trump. That was in 2019. So we are pleased to tell you that the update for that is it's happened today. That is being moved forward. That is something that is going to be very, very real in the very near future. If not, it's already happening now, which by the end of today's show, we will bring you up to speed with. The next image, I'm so sorry I've got to keep doing this, but I have to do it to protect the link for our stream. Here, can you see here? You see the little wire underneath here? This is just one picture in a million of these thugs. Rich, I sent you some pictures yesterday on Sky News of thugs smashing windows and getting their own camera crew to do it, to film it as they were doing it. And, you know, Sky News were more than happy to basically air it. The riots have continued in Los Angeles. But with that being said, I've got a link to play you first, and then we're going to show you some stuff that we've got to show you how much of an Antifa setup this is. I don't really want to give away too much because I'd rather you see this for yourselves and make your own minds up. I don't really want to lead you down any path, but we'll play you this first. Here we go.
A police station in a major American city was
Can you hear
occupied
it?
and looted and burned.
Yep.
Most assumed we would never live to see something like that happen here, but it did happen. So the question is, has anyone been arrested for doing that? Will anyone ever be arrested? No one in authority seems especially interested in apprehending the people who did it. All of it happened on camera, but the perpetrators just walked away. And it's possible, maybe likely, that most of them will never be punished for it. That's striking. It's a very different experience from the ones most Americans have living here. As Minneapolis burns and crowds grow in the streets of Atlanta and many other cities, the rest of us are continuing on as we always do, dutifully following the rules. There are many of those. Every year there seems to be countless new rules to follow. They multiply like insects. We do our best to keep up. We get our permits, apply for our licenses, put on our reading glasses, and check the latest regulations on the internet. We wear our little masks. We keep our dogs on leashes. We drive sober. We don't eat on the subway. We never litter. We make orderly lines and patiently wait our turn. In airports and government buildings, we remove our shoes and submit to body searches from strangers. We lose our dignity every time we do this, but they tell us we must, so we accept it without complaint. In public, we hide what we really think. We bury our natural instincts. We keep our deepest beliefs to ourselves. We know the boundaries. We understand we will be punished for telling the truth. This is the America the rest of us live in. For the privilege of citizenship in a country like this, we work as hard as we can. We never stop sharing what we earn with others. We send money we would rather give to our own children to politicians in faraway cities. With that money, they make new rules. We follow those rules to the letter. That's what we were told to do as children. That's the deal we've struck. At least we thought it was. Now we know that other people have somehow negotiated a far better deal than the one we have. They get to ignore the rules. They don't believe in order or fairness. They reject society itself. Reason and process and precedent mean nothing to them. They use violence to get what they want immediately. People like this don't bother to work. They don't volunteer or pay taxes to help other people. They live for themselves. They do exactly what they feel like doing. They say exactly what they feel like saying. They spray paint their opinions on buildings. On television, hour by hour, we watch these people, criminal mobs, destroy what the rest of us have built. They have no right to do that. They don't contribute to the common good. They never have. Yet suddenly they seem to have all the power. This is hardly the first time something like this has happened in America. Spasms of destructive violence are a recurring feature of our history, in fact, of every country's history. The ideologues will tell you that the problem is race relations or capitalism or police brutality or global warming, but only on the surface. The real cause is deeper than that, and it's far darker. What you're watching is the ancient battle between those who have a stake in society and would like to preserve it, and those who don't and seek to destroy it. Underneath it all, this violence doesn't have that much to do with the behavior of the Minneapolis Police Department. For evidence, watch this tape. It's from the 1992 riots in Los Angeles. It was shot almost 30 years ago. It could have been shot this afternoon.
It's not right! It's not right! It's not right what y'all doing! I came from the ghetto too! Same as all of you did! Why destroy my business? Why destroy my truck? Why steal my computer? I'm trying to make it! Could you understand that?
The first thing you notice about that video, in addition to how overwhelmingly sad it is that it's not a racial dispute. The elderly man could be the grandfather of the young rioters swarming around him. But that's misleading. They are nothing at all alike. The old man is fighting to defend civilization. He's armed only with a hammer, but he's trying. The young men are working to tear it down. And those are the battle lines. They always are. Which side in that war have our leaders taken? Well, watch carefully and it will become obvious. The rioters in Minneapolis and in other places act as if they're allowed to loot and burn. And in fact, they are allowed. No one stops them. The authorities don't arrest them. Instead, they pander to them, flatter them, desperately try to win their love. Why are masked lunatics setting fire to Wendy's? Because the rest of us are sinful. That's what our leaders tell us. The crimes of the mob are the punishment we deserve. That's their argument. And many seem to buy it. On a White House executive staff call just this morning, key domestic policy advisors Brooke Rollins and Jaron Smith argued that it might seem racist to say anything about the rioting in Minneapolis. Better just to let it happen. So that's what they're doing. We should have seen this coming. When you express an opinion our leaders don't like, they call it violence. When criminals commit actual acts of violence, they call it speech. So the game is rigged. Why are the rest of us still playing it? We have more power than we think we do. Our system only functions because normal people, people with self-control and decency, and above all, a sense of responsibility toward others, created our system. They sustain the system. They pay the bills. None of the thugs on the target or the well-paid nihilists on television who are egging them on have added a thing. Nothing. Yet all of the destroyers expect that this arrangement will last forever. And you can see why, because for them, it's been a very good deal. But what exactly are you getting in return for your contributions to this system? The authorities clearly don't care about you. The police won't show up to save your life, literally. During election years, sweaty politicians claim to be on your side. It's a lie. They're not. They'll waste your time with hollow posturing. They'll feed you pointless symbolic victories and expect you to celebrate like you've actually won something. But when the mob comes, they're gone. You're on your own. That's true. Those are the facts. We can't change them. All we can control is our own behavior. Should you keep playing along with all of that? Ponder that the next time they demand you get a permit to put a deck on your own house. And think about it even harder the next time you write a tax check. A police station.
Well said. Well said. I've got that link for you all. I'm going to pop that in the chat room right now. As I've said in the chat room, Antifa are completely out of control. They need to be stopped. We're going to show you right now what really is that where we're going? Do you know they're actually trying to stop me from copying the link? They're really trying to make it difficult for me so I get it wrong. That's crazy. So there's the link in the chat room for you for what we just showed you. And now we're going to show you Antifa completely out of control in LA. There are good people that want their voices heard, and Antifa are drowning people out everywhere. And with this is something that we want to shine a light on. And shout out to Donald Trump Jr. Don't worry, we've decided to tell the story. So we are going to tell the full story, and we are making sure we pay close attention to telling that full story. We've taken it upon ourselves to tell the story, and we've got a duty to tell the whole story. And that is why tonight is going to be such a long live stream, because you cannot just start commenting on some of this story without going through the uncomfortable factors of what all of this story is. So thank you, all of you, everyone that's taking the time to watch us, whether you're signed out or in the chat room. We appreciate you all the same. And to those of you that are coming out with amazing interactions in the chat room, please carry on doing so. There are people that are on their pursuit of truth that are not at the same part of other people's pursuit of truth. There are some people that have come to some truths before others. And as long as everyone handles everyone with care, we'll be absolutely fine. Please carry on asking questions. And if you know answers, then help people. This is how we're growing, and you're all doing an amazing job. The chat room is an awesome place to be. And I'm really, really glad to be there amongst you all. Please remember that the Really Woke Show will be streaming live from Hyde Park Speakers Corner tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT. That is 1 p.m. GMT, Hyde Park Speakers Corner live. The Really Woke Show tomorrow will be streaming from Speakers Corner. If you are within reach of London and would like to go on a day trip, then I would implore you to go to Speakers Corner and go and speak your mind about what you're passionate about. That is all Speakers Corner is. It is not a debating corner. It is not for people to debate things. It is for people to say as loudly as they possibly can the things that they are passionate about. You only need yourself and your voice. You need not bring any leaflets nor banners with you. If you want to write chalk on the floor, if you want to do that, you can, but there is no necessity to bring things with you. All you need is yourself and your voice. And please come as individuals. Do not come as groups. Bring yourself, your own free speech is very important. So I will do my best to live stream as much as possible. As we said, we'll bring you more information on that towards the end of today's stream. So yes, sorry, I can take a breath now. Said quite a lot there. Okay, so the next thing we're doing, Rich, is we are showing everybody the Enter for Madness in LA. And after we show you this, I will share the stream link with you. Bear with me. Here we go. Can you hear that?
It's like a freaking war zone. I know they're doing something. Oh my god, seriously?
Remember that bus. I need you to remember that bus. Remember the bus. Remember the bus. It's not what you think. Yeah? Just remember that bus. Okay, so please just remember that bus. All right, I'm going to give you all the link for that in the chat room now. Sorry we're having to go into it like this, but we need to. So the next link I've got for you all, you just go through this with me. We'll go through this bit by bit, okay? Still got the one there, so I'm going to do that one now. Okay. Thank you to DD2527. One fascinating aspect of this to me is the level of organization. DD played in a multi-billion-dollar pro sports league, and he said the amount of money they spent and personnel it took to get 20 men on the bus, the plane, the hotel, and arena on time and ready to go begs the question: who's organizing multiple city riots filled with kids and young adults with tactical gear? Oh, and please, don't forget the pallets of bricks being dropped off inconspicuously. Shout out to DD2527. The next link we've got coming up after we share this thread with you is the link of the pallets of bricks. So before I play the next few links in here for you all, I'm just going to share the link for what we're showing you right now in the chat room. So roll with me on this one. Hopefully, can you hear this? Can you hear that, Rich? Sorry, I can't see. Can you hear that? Yeah, good. Right, okay, cool.
Look at the bus.
Yeah, did you see the bus? Yeah, look at the bus.
Look at the bus.
Recognize that bus? You saw it in that video a minute ago. That bus got a police escort into the city, yeah?
Look at the bus.
Next.
We weren't going nuts right now.
So am I. I'm muted as well. You know what? You need a little post-it note, right, to stick on your screen to say, mute, unmute mic. You're still muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah, I'm on mute as well. It would seem right on schedule. The epidemic loses its effectiveness. Cue the riots. It looks like the enemy of the people will always have events ready to go, and I'm hoping that people are starting to wake up, at least with respect to my local community. I've got out there and I've spoken to my local community, and it genuinely does seem like the masses are starting to wake up. They're coming out of slumber, and I'm genuinely starting to see people asking valid questions now, which I'm hoping to see more of at Speaker's Corner tomorrow. But this is something that's starting to become like a general like trend, if you can call it that. We've also got an eyewitness reporter was caught playing fake gunshots on his cell phone at the Minneapolis protests. When confronted, he admitted like he didn't know it would be a problem. Now, I've got one shot of this through DD2527. I've seen multiple other video footages of the same conversation from another angle, but this is the one that we've got here. And this is something that is like mad to think that this is already bad enough, and then you've got people like that doing things like that, and then going on like dumb, like they have no idea what they're talking about. So here we go. I'm just gonna play this now. Hopefully.
Do you know, Blazing, just because we were just talking about it in the chat about the bricks. Blazing said, "Oh, I'm dubious about the bricks because it could be, you know, just a pallet dropped off." And I said, "Really, next to a bus stop, no construction around."
Yeah.
But he did say maybe it was a lone wolf, or maybe MSM. Maybe.
Yeah. But maybe MSM is acting like a strong arm for Antifa, because remember what we were talking about with press passes. You have to get past the gatekeepers to get press passes. So how
and they are actually called gatekeepers.
Right, exactly.
They are actually called gatekeepers. The gatekeepers, their job title is gatekeeper.
Yep. I've got this here that I'm just going to quickly play for everybody. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Roxy. I just have to go back and forward. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. He's the one who played. You knew what it was. You did that on purpose. You just destroyed it. You destroyed a peaceful protest. Why did you do that? An innocent man died. He had a family. He had parents. Represent yourself. And this is the truth. He's the one who played. You knew what it was. You did that on purpose. You just destroyed it. You destroyed a peaceful protest. Why did you do that? An innocent man died. He had a family. He had parents.
This is them confronting him after he's done that. And this is why I thought it was worthwhile. I was showing you because it does kind of go beyond belief that people would do something like that and then stand there, that gallus, and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't really think that was going to."
I thought it'd be a laugh, man. I thought it'd be funny.
Like, who does that? Shout out to Red Flag. That is something that we were going to try and bring up in later on in the show. Shout out to Red Flag there. Yeah, the CNN crew have got themselves in hot soapy bubble this evening. Big trouble in little CNN. The media and Antifa literally are looking like the same thing at the moment. Shout out to you. No, not very convincing gunshots because it was being played back on his phone. But if you look in the original footage, it was being played through a proper like sound system or set, either a car radio or a car, I don't know, but it was mad. It literally turned a peaceful protest into absolute madness, chaos. And for that, how he can stand there like that is just, it begs belief. Vagabond's having a good giggle at CNN there. Well done, Vagabond. So with that being said, moving on, I've got the next link to show you all, which is about the bricks. And if you just bear with me, I'm going to share the screen right now for you all. I'm just making sure I share the audio so I don't have to do it twice. Here we go. Hopefully you can all see that now. And if you can, I'll play it.
They put them there on purpose, y'all know where we at. They gonna set them hoes right up on the rail. Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? We gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction. Gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction around here. I see. Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay. Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better.
Did he say did jury duty 3 months ago?
Yeah, so obviously work out the building that they're talking about. Obviously, those that are good researchers, you know what building that is. That is not a pallet of bricks for construction. There's absolutely no construction there whatsoever. So shout out to all of the people that are trying to be boots on the ground and getting the real info out there, because the mainstream media is working overtime at the moment trying to perpetuate a narrative that's false. Twitter's got themselves in hot soapy bubble as well, as you all know. Yeah, vagabond, shout out to you. Those were the key words I heard there. You lot got to do better than this. Right? They're woke. You got it better than that. Been woke for a minute. Like you heard, they know their surroundings. People know their surroundings. You heard that person go, no. I did jury service here just a few weeks ago. I know that there's no, you're not trying to paint this picture on a camera. There's people that are on the ground that know their surroundings too damn well to have those kind of fast ones pulled. Thank you. Now. Thank you, Port Keeling. If you do jury service, what are you doing jury service in? A freaking courtroom. So what, there's just a pallet of bricks outside a courtroom, is it? Just so they can conveniently trash. Yeah, it's brilliant. Then the mainstream media, Antifa, whatever you want to call them, have got their narrative that they're going to perpetuate. And no, people are waking up. They're waking up too quick for the mainstream media to keep a hold of this. So shout out to Paul Keeling for that. John Cleese as well. Absolutely brilliant to see all of these excellent comments in the chat room. Thank you all. I'm going to pop the link for that in the chat room for you all right now. So if you have Instagram, you'll be able to pop over there and see that for yourself. And the comment section on that there is very interesting. Yeah, Mr. Donald Trump said himself at 10 a.m. on the 30th of May, 2020, these are organized groups that have nothing to do with said victim. With that being said, you know, we're starting to see clearly now that it's not all as it seems to be. The next link I've got for everybody, I've just got to check the time. Rich, what time are we at right now? Yeah, 2:17. We've got a break because we've been going through a lot of things and we need to calm down, make a drink, let the pets out, use a bathroom, because next up we've got our very own Derek Gradinago. We're not going to be able to play all of it because it's an hour, but we're going to play a good section of it. And I do implore you, even if you haven't got Instagram, just get Instagram, be a non on there, follow these accounts and make sure you stay plugged in to what's really going on. And we've got a few other videos. I'm being so underrated saying that. We've got through nearly half of the show and we've been going for 2 hours. Nearly half. Nearly half's better than like a quarter.
Just a quick shout out to Vagabond again as well. Like bricks for a glass building.
Yeah.
And also Blazing Star said a comment that because I worked as a hog carrier, I worked with brickies for a while. And so, yeah, man, that pallet was dumped hard.
Oh, Apple Charlotte said it reminds me of that movie Purge, very dystopian. I've seen, I was going to play one on here, but I thought it was counterproductive to do so. But there's countless videos of people actually on loud tannoys playing that voice recording from the Purge saying the police and they're trying to make people believe that there's some kind of purge going on. It's mad. It's mad. Like I said, they're out of control. They are out of control. Thomas, I'm not sure what chat room you're in. You need a wrench.
He's in yours. Your chat room.
I'll do that while we're on the break. Okay, we're going to cut for a break. We're going to go to another one of Double's performances. This one is going to be Drive Incubus, which is a cover from 007, and that is about 4.5 minutes. So you're going to have to rush and do what you need to do. We're going to cut to that for 4.5 minutes. And then we'll be straight back, and then we're going straight to Derek Gradinago, who is also going to be back on the show very, very soon. So make sure you tune in for that. And in the meantime,
do you want to?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Do you want to mod up Apple Charlotte as well?
Apple and Thomas on Charlotte, it. I'll do that while we're on a break. Not a problem, my lovely. Great. All of you, thank you so much for going with us. We are coming back for part we've already had one break, so that would part one. So there, part three. We'll be back for part three after this. So don't go anywhere. Don't you go anywhere. Just go and get a drink and come back because we've got absolutely a ton more to go through on the Really Woke Show. Big love, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Plenty of sinkholes, but they're not. Wait, guys, hold on a minute here. Hey, Richard?
Sometimes feel the fear of uncertainty stinging clear, and I can't help but ask myself how much I let the fear take the wheel instead. This to me before and seems to have a vague, haunting mass appeal. But lately I'm in the final fight to be the one behind the wheel. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. Open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there, yeah. So if I decide to wait around, a chance to be one of the high, will I choose water over wine? Know my own drive. Oh, yeah. There's too many before. That seems to be the way that everyone else gets around. But lately I'm beginning to find it when I drive myself, my light is found. Early tomorrow brings, I'll be there. With open arms and open eyes, yeah. Early tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there, yeah. Would you choose the water or wine? Hold the wheel and drive. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. With open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there, yeah.
I can assure you I won't be watching daytime television.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for that, Double. Massive appreciation for that. And all of you in the chat room, thank you so much for your kind words of appreciation. Shout out to Vagabond. Shout out to Blazing Stars, to Alfie, to Apple Charlotte. She said, beautiful song. Absolutely beautiful song. Pat Riot as well. Shout out to you. And shout out to David as well. Shout out to David. And shout out to Mark Carter as well. Lovely to see you still in the chat room. And to Paul Keeling too as well. Kelly Jelly and Red Flag Rico, Lunderground.
John Cleese.
John Cleese as well. Lovely. Yeah, my battery died on my phone, so just give me 5-10 more minutes to do those mods and I'll get it done. Thomas as well, lovely to see you too. Thank you for joining us for part 3 of the Really Work Show's extended edition today. This weekend is a big weekend. Obviously, we've got a big show tonight and we will be live streaming from Hyde Park Speakers Corner, London from tomorrow, 1 p.m. GMT onwards. That's Hyde Park Speakers Corner, London, tomorrow from 1 p.m. onwards. If there is something that you want to speak about, that you're passionate about, and you want to go there yourself, you're more than welcome to do so. The restrictions have reduced to the point where if you are in England, you can go anywhere in the country for a day trip. So by all means, go to London, take yourself to Speakers Corner and go and speak about something you're passionate about. Why not? What greater time to do it than now? So yeah, if you're within reach of London, you're more than welcome. I will, from a distance, so that we don't poke the bear as far as the law is concerned, I will more than happily share you on YouTube if you'd like to be seen on YouTube, and be there for the taking in public so that people know that the silent majority are out there. Absimus as well, lovely to see you. And Jonathan Hobbs, Thomas as well, lovely to have you on board in the chat room. Great to see you all.
I'm just saying to Vagabond, because Vagabond said his CBD hasn't arrived yet. So I've just said to him, if you email me your address again, mate, I'll check it off with Adam and see if I'll make sure that he sent you a box. If he sent him, then he'll be able to track it and see where it is.
Yes.
And if it's been lost, then he'll send you another one out. Otherwise, mate.
Fantastic.
And just to remind everybody else that any donations, €20 or over, £20 or over,
yes,
I think we've still got a few bottles of CBD oil, just as a complimentary gift to say thank you very much for your donation of £20 or more.
Well said. Well said. Shout out to Adam Meakin for that as well. We massively appreciate that.
Big shout out to Adam Meakin.
Big time. Big
He's
time.
He's just awesome, man.
Yes. Shout out to Jonathan Hobbs. Yeah, as soon as I can, I will get across the country as soon as I can. Shout out to my car. Shout out to my faithful car. I've had a problem spring up with my car this week that could prove to be a bit of a problem with me trying to traverse across the country. My brakes are like on their way out, and I'm going to have to get them done.
Rox, your brakes went about 2 months ago down.
The warning signs were there. The warning signs were there, and we're at the point now where, yeah, we need the brakes doing in the car. So obviously, that's going to be an issue for me. So I'm going to get to Manchester soon. I'm going to get across the country as much as possible. There's a few places in the country that specifically I'd like to go because I really want to see what the situation on the ground there is. So yeah, shout out to all of you in the yes, it should be on its way. Vagabond, I did, and I have done that. So I presume Adam's got it on the way, and within the next 24 hours, we'll confirm that with you, and I'll get back to you by email. Is that all right? Is that okay?
Post is taking a little longer than normal. But
hey, shout out to the woke people in the chat room that know what they're doing with cars. Vagabond, email me if you're within reach of London and you can do jobs on people's driveways. I'll tell you what make of car I've got. You tell me what I need to order, and I will, because that is like that's big shout out to you if you're in, or yeah, probably not safe for me to drive to you if you live quite far from me. But hey, I'd rather give business to a woke person. I remember when David Weiss was talking about woke to woke business. That just never left my head. From when I heard that, I was just like, yo, everyone in the chat room, that is just giving me an idea, actually. No, it's not giving me an idea. It's not my idea. It's just giving me a thought. If you are a sole trader, or, you know, like Rich, he can play guitar. If you'd like to learn how to play guitar, get in touch with Rich. I'm sure he'll come to an arrangement to give you, you know, some kind of guitar lessons. And that's if you are of any caliber in the chat room, and there is a service that you can offer people, whether it's locally or internationally via video, put that service in the chat room right now. If you're a mechanic, if you're a plasterer, if you're a painter, if you're a gardener, whatever you are, whatever your skill is, put it into the chat room. Yeah. And give people your email address so that people can give woke to woke business. I'd rather give my business to an awake person than someone that's still fast asleep. That to me is like a no-brainer. So yeah, if you're in the UK, then share your skills and hopefully people will get in touch with you. And I know that sounds quite primitive, but if any of you are woke business people and you would like to advertise yourself, please get in touch with us, because one thing we would like to do is give free advertising to woke people. And that, you know, would give us something else to put in the advert break apart from just music. It would be great if we could do music with some woke advertising. That would be wonderful. Brilliant. I sell nursery gear, car seats, pushchairs, etc. Absolutely wonderful. You see? So yeah, if there's a site or somewhere that people can find you on Facebook or something, please give those informations into the chat room. I say that only because my sister-in-law has just had a bubba. We've got babies coming into the family. So yeah, that's brilliant. That's wonderful. Baby and oh, lovely. eBay. Perfect. Look at that. First woke business advertised on the Really Woke Show, and it's you, Vagabond. I wish we had like a sound effect for that. So that's on eBay. So if you go to that company on eBay, that is owned by woke individuals that are nice and wide awake. And if you need anything for your little legs in the family like that, please go to Baby and Ooh. How do we say that? Baby and you, as in you. Yeah, you, Baby and you. I'm hoping I've got that right.
Baby
on
and
eBay.
you, yeah, Baby and you.
Perfect. Baby and you. Yeah, please go and, you know, go onto eBay and please use them. And Rich, can you write that down, please?
Baby and you, yes.
I say that because Vagabond's been very supportive of the Really Woke Show, and I would love to do a permanent banner so that we could advertise that while we're on our break. And we'll add advertisements into that and keep you all abreast. But yeah, thank you. I'm going to keep that up on the screen for quite a while, just so that you can all see that on each channel that we're watching on just now. The next segment we've got coming up, as I said, is Derek Gredenego, and he's done a talk on Instagram, which I found extremely interesting. And so I'm not going to be able to play all of it because it's an hour long, and obviously we're going to be a long show as it is, and we have a lot of links to still go through. I wish we were near the end, because then I could just play like 45 minutes of it, no problem, and just say, look, the other 15 minutes go and see. But unfortunately, thank you for that, Maggie Ray. The National Guard's been mobilized in Atlanta. And I'm actually, Maggie, can you tell me when have we gone past 12? Because this is the thing. Obviously, Maggie knows what we're talking about here. There's a marker for 12 cities, right? And if the National Guard have been implemented across 12 cities or more already, is that not a marker been and gone? Get back to me, Maggie, in the chat room, because that was something that me and Rich were talking about the other day, because I looked at it and I thought I saw 22 cities.
22, that's what we counted.
And if that had been the case, then we've already been and gone past that marker for 12 cities, if you know the key posts I'm talking about, Maggie. If you could get back to me in the chat room, that'd be great, because that would kind of connect a couple of dots for me. Vagabond, definitely. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep getting Baby and you up onto the chat room for all channels to see. So yes, that would be excellent. Rich, we'll get that done and make sure that we keep advertising them. So that's perfect. Yes, I'm going to do that when I play this. I'm going to literally go onto my phone because it's charged up a little bit now. Jessica Lubin as well. Lovely to see you in the chat room.
Hey, Jess, how you doing, man?
Yeah, lovely. John Cleese as well. And Maggie Ray, Alfie Patching, Lunderground, and Red Flag Rico, and Jane of Torquay. Lovely to still see you in the chat room as well. There it is there. I'm going to pop that back on the screen. So the next link I'm going to share is Derek. And as I said, we've got a lot to still get through. So I'm going to try and play as much of Derek as I possibly can. Sharing audio.
Just to answer your question, Jessica, yeah, we are streaming live tomorrow. I'm going to have the StreamYard going. Rox is going to be down there. And anybody that we know who wants to go down and get involved and do their own little stream, then we can send you the link and you can get involved. We've got 4 spaces on the stream.
Yep. It's going to be great.
Other angles, other voices, other opinions.
It's going to be fantastical. Fantastical. Right. So I've got my, no worries. Thank you, Jonathan. We do try. We are very trying.
It certainly appears to be.
So yeah, next link we've got coming up now is for Derek. With a bit of luck, you'll be able to see and hear him. And we will play as much as possible. I'm bearing in mind keeping an eye on the timer. So here we go.
What's good? What's good?
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to...
Oh, what is up?
Hold on. Obviously, Instagram's not trying to see me win today for some reason. I had it actually lined up at a specific point and now it's not lined up. So they've grabbled me. That's really not very nice of them. Just realized it's playing it from the start, which is not supposed to be doing. But if you remember, we interviewed Derek on his meeting with the President of the United States of America and his take on everything, which you will be seeing much more of very soon.
This is why I tell people all the time. Listen, I tell people all the time, 100%.
Hold on.
You have to, when people say that I'm heartless, because a lot of people say I'm heartless because I hear about deaths and then I say I'm sorry and then I move forward. Because even biblically, the Bible is talking about saving who's still here. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people have got on me or tried to get on me and be like, why aren't you out here marching? Why aren't you out here crying? Why aren't you out here doing this, that, and the third? And I tell people 100% all the time. I tell them, I'm like, look, I don't have the facts, y'all. I don't have the facts. I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know exactly who's doing what. I don't know what's going on. So let's get to a situation. And if you want to cam up, send me a request right now. And right after I finish this, I'll bring some people in to see what they got to say. Because this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy right now, y'all. They have everybody rioting and all this stuff behind this situation. They have all this rioting, and then come to find out, this is crazy. You hear about this cop, like he's some sort of rogue cop that nobody knows about. But then his neighbors are saying they didn't even know he was a cop. They didn't even know he was a cop. His neighbors are saying they didn't know he was a cop. Then he doesn't even really look like a cop. Like if you look at him, he has the look of like a psyop dude, like an FBI type dude, like a weird dude. I don't even know. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird. Now, I want people to understand like something about something called false flags. Okay. False flags do not mean everything is fake. It just means like real people die in false flags. Like, you know what I mean? It's something like, things they did in the 60s and in 50s and 40s to bring people together. You know what I mean? Like, or distract people from what's going on. And so right now we were in the middle of talking about General Flynn. We were in the middle of talking about Joe Biden and his racistness and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden we start getting these race stuff popping up and this race stuff going on. And it's just like massively crazy. But the big news tonight, y'all know I usually don't go out real late like this or whatever. But the big news tonight is that supposedly the victim in the Minnesota event with the police and the police officer supposedly overlapped and worked together at the same El Rodeo nightclub. You know what I mean? The same El Rodeo nightclub. So you tell me the odds of that. You know what I mean? Tell me the odds of just kind of like a random meetup between a cop and what they would call a perpetrator. And we're all thinking this is like a white dude and then a black dude, and it's just like a regular meetup and then the arresting thing. But these dudes supposedly work together. Now, I want to make something very clear, in my opinion. Again, we're all here just speculating. Okay, we're here speculating. Now, what I could tell you as a single dude, I want to tell you what I could tell you as a single dude all these years, who's been in the single game, who's lived the Vegas life. You know what I'm saying? Partied in Europe, partied in Italy, all this stuff. What I will tell you is this. As a dude who's been in the club, who has police officer, friends, cousins, family, I will tell you this. Somebody has tried to say that this officer worked outside the club as a cop, and the dude may have worked inside as security. Now, the cop worked there 17 years or 16, 15, 16, 17 years. The security dude worked inside. I don't give a damn if he's plainclothes security, one of the velvet rope dudes, one of the whatever. If you've ever known anyone that's police or security, the police and the security all know each other. Like they all know each other. It's not like, even though they're separate crews, they know each other. Period. Like, I mean, that's insane. Like, because a lot of people are saying, well, they may have never met because the dude worked. He was like the velvet rope dude inside security with the black jacket, and the cop is outside. All those dudes know each other. They meet before the club night. They meet after the club to discuss things. They do all that. So this whole situation is very strange to me. If they have overlapping shifts, they would know each other. There's no way. There's no way. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, so when people say that, that's kind of strange to me. I think people are just trying to keep their hands off of it, because I think even the lady that revealed this is kind of worried that she even revealed it. The lady who owns the El Rodeo in Minneapolis. She's very, very, she sounded very nervous that she revealed it. She thought, I don't even know if she likes it anymore. What's going on, Therapista? How you doing? How you doing? So I'm just laying this out here right now, and then I'm gonna have people cam up and tell me their thoughts on what they think real quick. I'm not gonna keep people on too long, but if you want to cam up, send a request, and I'll bring you in, and I'll let you say your piece real quick. Y'all know I don't really do lives this late, but this was such a bombshell. This is such a bombshell right now. Like, I want you to imagine that just any of these events, like the Trayvon Martin event, this would be the equivalent of, imagine the Trayvon Martin event, and then after like all this stuff for Trayvon and Zimmerman, you find out that Trayvon and Zimmerman actually worked at the same spot. You're gonna be like, yo, what? What? This is now taking a whole nother twist on whatever. Now, everybody has their own thing now. People are, of course, the first thing people are going to jump on is this a psyop? Is this a false flag? Is this somebody paying somebody to deflect? What I will say is this. If we want to keep this 100 and say, could this still be an organic murder or an organic setup? I will say this, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure exactly, but it looked like the brother who was murdered, his fiance is Hispanic. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought I heard that they said that the cop, either his wife or his woman, is a minority. So I'm not sure if she's Hispanic or black. But what I know is they both work at a El Rodeo. So whenever you find an El Rodeo in the city, it's usually like a Hispanic, Tejano flavor, whatever kind of, Jaime and Los Chamacos bar. Like, I mean, it's you got Aventura going on, something in there. So is it possible that when you have this alpha male season of security in this place, that they could have been knowing each other or beefing over the same females? You know what I'm saying? Could they have had a beef or spoke to the same females? I mean, I've seen it all before, where this has happened, especially with security and police. And like I said, I'm a single dude. I've been in the game a long time, all around the world. And I do know that a lot of times security, they get treated very well by the women in the clubs. The cops, they get treated very well by the women in the clubs. So could this have been a conflict of interest? Could this have been something to where the victim knew something that the cops were doing outside the club, or knew too much? Could this have been a situation like that? And there was something, this seems like there's something else going on. I know everybody immediately wants to jump to the deep state. They want to jump to the deflections and the false flags and this, that, or the other, blah, blah. But we always have to look as well at everything organically. You know what I mean? Like we always want to do that. You know, we want to jump to the deep state and this, that, or the other, or blah, 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 just, you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, in an organic fashion, when we start asking questions about people who know each other, my first question is one, is there money involved? Two, is there romantic interest? Period. Is there money or romantic interest? And if there's either one, then we got to start pushing the button a little bit further. Because in this scenario, you're dealing with a club. You're dealing with perhaps money. You're dealing with perhaps something, because remember, you have these police who are working second, third jobs. Could these police have been taking something else? Could they have been getting more money on something else that was going on? Could he have been involved? Could he know the middleman? Or again, could this just be something organic? Could this just be something organic to where it could have been, look, we fighting over Latinas or something. There's some hot Latinas and I'm mad because he stole one, or I'm mad because he gonna tell my wife something, or I'm mad because we just have beef. Anyway, I don't know. Like I said, but this opens a whole nother door. To what's going on. And it really, really, really almost kills the whole racial element. It really almost kills the whole racial element. Because it's basically like this guy's not getting hunted down, like LeBron would say. He's not getting hunted or whatever. These people, people could try to do all the talking they want, but they obviously ran across each other before. People need to quit acting like cops are stupid. Like, stop acting like cops can't. Well, he's black, so he wouldn't remember. Nah, he knows. He knew him. They worked at the same spot, bro. Well, he worked outside and he worked inside. Do you know how stupid that sounds? When you cops, like, at the end of the day, cops meet with security in the club before the club, and they meet with security after to discuss how everything went. And if it may not even be long, if things went good, like if you've ever been around or hung around dudes who own clubs or promoters like I have, they may see the cop like, hey, good job, give me my money, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, the security, y'all all getting paid together, blah, blah, blah. But to assume because one guy works outside and the other dude works inside, that they hadn't come across each other, but they have overlapping shifts. I don't care if it's 15 dudes working tonight. I don't care if it's 20 dudes. Like, it doesn't matter. If it's 15 or 20 dudes, it really doesn't matter. You're going to know everybody, or see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, see them or know them, So I don't know. It just depends. It depends on what you have in that scenario, like what you have in that scenario. So if anybody want to cam up, come in, let me know. If you want to cam up, you know what I mean? Let me know and we could go ahead and do it. And let me know. We can make it happen. Because I want to hear what y'all got to say. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I do. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Because to me right now, I'm keeping my options open. And again, I'm not going to go into this whole like, dude, this is an episode of Lost and he disappeared on a plane somewhere or something like that. Like, nah, like, I do believe in scenarios people die. But, because people want to make it like, oh, everybody's in on it, everybody's whatever. Nah, I believe in even scenarios where they want to distract people. If you're the unlucky dude, then you might just get got. It's just the way it is. I mean, that's like if you're in a situation and they want to cause a distraction in Miami, if you happen to be walking down the street in the wrong spot, they consider you collateral damage. They consider you collateral damage. Twins to Love says, Cam Up, the guy talking madness. Look, I don't really have time to deal with suckers. Look, see, so here's the thing. Like, you see this picture behind me? This is me with my hand on the president. Like, you guys have to understand and start getting deeper. I don't have time for suckers. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Mace said to Diddy back in the day, beef no more. I got other people to beef for me. Like, losers, you can't speak to me. I'm too regal to even speak to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the truth. I'm not even trying to be rude about it, but that's how we got to look at the haters now. That's how, you know what I'm saying? That's how we got to look at the haters. We got to even stop addressing them. Like, I can't address you if you're in your mom's basement, man. Like, and you trying to decide whether you eating macaroni and cheese or cheese and macaroni. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with you. Like, my hand is on the president and this picture behind me, bro. Like, you have to respect the gangster of that. And until you respect the gangster, it's kind of like Kanye was saying about the president. You have to kind of be in a situation where you big up people. You know what I'm saying? So when I see y'all on here and y'all doing good, I big you up. If you come in hating, I'm just gonna throw you in the dumpster. I can't let you speak to me because you're not cool enough to speak to me. That's how y'all be. Just how y'all be doing. Like, a lot of y'all females be doing these dudes, and y'all be like, you can't speak to me till you get your game up. And a lot of the new dudes be telling females, you can't speak to me if you around here trying to be a gold digger. Get up out my face. That's how you have to be with a lot of these trolls. So when you see trolls, you just got to be like, look, bro, you got to push to the side until you get your game up and get up out your mama's basement and stop your gal from trying to message me. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop your gals from trying to message me. You can't speak to me. Like, you just can't. And it really pisses them off. You know what I'm saying? It really pisses them off, but I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell your gal to quit messaging me. Like, at the end of the day, that's her decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these dudes be mad. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. I'm not asking, but I'm not going to stop her because at the end of the day, you obviously are not providing what she needs. So she needs some sort of fantasy or something. But anyway, look, damn, Gina, I see you out there. Look, I'm checking the cam here. Who camming up? Who brave enough to come on? A lot of you ladies, it's late. So y'all trying to be like, oh, my hair don't look good. My hair don't look good. Y'all come in and cam up. Let me know what y'all doing. Let me know what y'all think about this situation.
So, as you can see there, yeah, like, people are on Instagram inviting other people to stand up and speak their mind and come out in public. There's a lot of people that are coming out from behind their keyboards and going, you know what? Now, that was a hour's stream. I'm going to give you all the link for that in the chat room. Derek will be back on the Really Woke show on Monday. He's agreed to come back on, which is awesome. So we're going to have him back on the show on Monday. So there's the link for that. I've kind of cut because I've just added more onto the end of the show because more's happening as we're live. So with that being said, I'm going to move that link away. And now we're going to go straight to. So I really want to go straight to the person on the street. However, the Insurrection Act of 1807, it was something that I put into the chat room early on.
It's only gone and done it. 11/11 as well.
Yeah.
You see that? 11/11, man.
Yeah. So this is pretty much where we're at. So all of my really woke diggers in the chat room that are brilliant researchers, go on, just start going into that now, because we are going to have to bring you up to speed with what's going on over the pond, because obviously when they sneeze, we catch a cold. So with that being said, I wanted to play the videos, but I haven't been able to see them yet. So I'm not going to be able to play those exact videos. But there is, I need to go to there. So there, obviously, this is something that we need to obviously let everybody know. You need to be vigilant for more organized attacks by the far left extremist groups using Antifa-like tactics. So be extremely vigilant, because that is what's going on pretty much in a town near you pretty soon. With that being said, the Insurrection Act of 1807 determination that various state and local authorities are not up to the task of responding to the growing unrest of Antifa-like tactics. So with that being said, I'm now going to bring you to a situation that's ongoing, and I need to do this now because it's happening right now, which is why calling the ball is probably all that's going to happen now. So this is where we're at.
Beat the shit out y'all, bitch ass! Fuck you, Tombo!
Again, what you're seeing there is Antifa-like tactics. I'm going to give you the link for that. Antifa are not going to get away with this. They're not going to get away with this because obviously we all know that there's more good people than bad. And trust me, we've got more minds that are going to speak their minds. As I said, we're staying very close to what's been said this evening about telling this story. And if we're going to tell this story, we have to tell it fully. So we are going to carry on. This is a link that you've had before on the Really Woke show. I'm popping it into the chat room now. Obviously, this it's a long show, and I know that people may have to come back and rewatch some of these things. But the link that we've just given you there is from January 2009, the US government's counter-insurgency guide. This was from the Obama administration. As we said, Homeland Security, FBI, DOJ action is coming. Rich just gave us a heads up. Obviously, there's investigations that may lead to domestic and foreign support targets being dealt with. I've just got to find the link. Sorry, there's a lot of links now to have to deal with here. So just bear with me while I just backtrace through these links to try and find it. AG, Bill Barr. Okay, we've got that to show you all as well. Here we go. So this is Montega. So now, just after showing you that, let's just show you the fact that there's more good people than bad. And there's a lot more people out there to do good than bad. And so we're just going to give you an example of that right now.
So we're not telling y'all what was going on up here was wrong. That's why we brought it to a stop. The loudspeaker, the yakking and the yapping. We said pause. Let these people remain here. Let them stay in the street. Let them express their grievances because you have a right to be pissed off.
Well, over there, they don't feel the same way.
That's why I told them to shut the fuck up.
There we go.
Good cops are stepping up and helping to stop the violence and show protesters how to grieve properly. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that want their voices heard in the right way, and Antifa-like tactics are taking advantage of that.
You're right. One at a time. Absolutely right.
I want to hear all y'all say some shit like that. I want to hear all y'all say some shit like that. I want to hear you say some shit like that.
So again, I'm going to make sure I share that link in the chat room for you all. I'm just trying to get through this without making it as least complicated as possible. Notice how, where was that? Notice how many of the violent protesters are white, not black. Do not make this racial. Correct. Because this isn't about race. This is about Antifa completely muddying the waters by being as out of control as they are.
Can I just mention a comment as well? So David Bywater is voicing a very strong opinion that this is not real and stuff. The Miley Cyrus, I mean, is not real, and mentions Tokyo. All right, and we looked at this, didn't we, Rox, and the figures that come out for Tokyo, and so Tokyo is like 220 million or something, and they've only had 850 deaths or something. Can I ask you seriously, David? Do you seriously, truly, really believe that the figures given to us by Japan are true? Do you think they're actual, true, accurate figures?
I feel like they give us numbers for a reason, don't they?
They throw all these numbers around, man. And so far, none of the numbers have turned out to be true or factual or real or reflective of the actual the reality. None of them. And that was proven a little while ago, wasn't it? And Trump commented on it. So, you know, these numbers that have come out from Japan, I'd take them with a big old pinch of salt, man. Or maybe Japan is telling the truth, and only 850 people died out of 220 million. Then all of the other figures that are being given are false, or the deaths aren't false, but the cause of death is being wrongly attributed to COVID-19 because of the directions given by various different governing bodies regarding the you know what the doctors should write on the death certificate. You know, you got Johnny down the street gets involved in a drive-by shooting, shot in the head, and he dies of COVID-19.
Yes, it is. It's gone belly up. This is an image that I'm sharing from Donald Trump Jr.'s Instagram feed, Rich, and for all of you in the chat room as well. I'm going to read here just in case some of you can't read it if your screens are too small. The photo you're looking at.
Can I just shout out Roxanne, because she's not, I don't think she's going to say it, but I just want to shout out Roxanne. When she posted this exactly the same time as, or it's what it turned out at basically exactly the same time.
No, it was like, it literally was, it was like 30 seconds. I was like, literally like
it was,
30 seconds.
we had no idea that Q posted exactly what we were like getting ready, what Roxanne was getting ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I haven't shared the one that I've done. I've gone straight to Donald Trump Jr.'s one on this one. And I'm going to read this all for you, just in case on your screen it's a little bit too small. So the photo you're looking at is of Louisville police officer who is separated from his team during the riots that ravaged across this country last night. The same photo also depicts a group of men who realized that the officer was outnumbered and surrounded him to protect him and ensure that he wasn't harmed. And yes, these are the same men who also are out there to protest against the police. But their actions in this photo also confirm that the majority of protesters simply just want to be heard, not to be harmful. Now read this next part carefully. Those who are protesting are not always those who are looting. And those who are looting are not always those who are truly protesting. This is all just happening simultaneously. Unfortunately, some people of all races take advantage of this situation. So when you tell the story, tell the complete story. And when you speak of people of all color, speak of all of us. This is America that I know. So we are giving a shout out to that. That has also been shared as well, as many times as we possibly can on social media. But it's something that it's valid. It needs to be said. There is a lot more good people out there than bad. And we wanted to bring that to everybody's attention as we were going through this evening, because we do still have more links to go through. Obviously, you got the State Gov document for the January 2009 insurgency scenario. But with regards to what's going on right now, we're going to give you a breather with regards to the Antifa scenario. And we're going to, remember I told you about a scenario about covert policing in Big Brother in Birmingham. We've also got that to bring you. We've also got, more NAF cops doing crazy things. I'm thinking I'm just going to give you the link for that. I'm not sure I'm going to play it. Also, members of the community that are good members of the community have ended up coming out to clean up. And obviously people are reporting on the fact that they're organized riots funded by George Soros. Yep, go on, Rich. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was just murmuring in agreement with the people that are going out and helping to clear up afterwards.
Yeah, Yeah, big time. And obviously, we're going to be showing you how CNN has ended up reaping what they've sown in the first place. They brought it on themselves because in 2017, they praised Antifa. But in 2020, CNN was attacked by Antifa. And really, most people just carried on sipping their tea, just going, ah, well, you brought that on yourself, didn't you? You really did. Also, we've got more from people giving us their 2 cents worth. We've got Montega, a clip regarding him talking about Antifa being a terrorist group, homegrown. And literally, I think internationally now it's time to just mow the lawn. And he's talking a little bit about that. Obviously, we've also got an excerpt of about a 5-minute excerpt of someone talking about Hillary Clinton and exposing the whole scenario with that. And again, we've got AG Bill Barr as well, and what's been happening just within the last few hours, to be fair. So yeah, I'm going to try and run through a lot of that as quickly as possible. I'm just making sure that I've kind of got everything covered. And I believe I do have. I'm just making sure that we're there. I believe we are. Right, so here we are down here. As I said, we're going to break away from the rioting for a second, and we are going to talk about something else. I'm going to change gears, if that's okay. Seth Rich, his name has come up a lot in the past, and it's going to start coming up a lot again because, according to attorney, the DNI has allegedly got his call records between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks. So that is going to be coming out because things are starting to be declassified. It's presumed that Brennan, CIA, was more involved than a lot of people have been thinking in the past. So as these things start to come out, we are going to keep you updated because obviously this all goes back to the Russian hack and the Seth Rich cover-up. And obviously now the focus of the group is requesting the truth behind that whole Seth Rich sham. Because we all know it was a sham and we all know who's at the bottom of that. So yeah, we're going to keep you updated with that, as much information as we can get. But it looks like where there was once darkness, there is now light, and more things that seem to be coming to light. Almost, I was going to say by the day, but in actual fact, it's almost getting like it's becoming like by the hour, which is shocking, really and truthfully, Rich. So now, shout out to CFR News. I'm going to give you all the link in the chat. If you were at the Kidderminster event, you would have met CFR News there. Great guy. Check them out. And we've got this video here. Hopefully, can you hear this?
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Sorry. Yeah.
Great.
Right, boys. I've just serviced this Fiat van here. Working at Mercedes thinking, why am I servicing a Fiat? Old school thing, bro. 53 plate. Look in the back here. Well, look in the front. It's builder's van, builder's cap. And I walk around to the other side. I open the passenger door. Thought, oh, this looks a bit weird. Fucking police radio, G. So now, I open the back. It's a blood clot surveillance van, bro. They got everything, the radios, listening to everything. All there, bro. Fucking crowed. Gotta watch your phone now, boys. Could be tapped.
Just in case some of you weren't paying attention, I'm playing it again.
Right,
Shout
boys.
out to CFR News.
I've just serviced this Fiat van here. Working at Mercedes thinking, why am I servicing a Fiat? Old school thing, bro. 53 plate. Look in the back here. Well, look in the front. It's builder's van, builder's cap. Then I walk around to the other side. I open the passenger door. Thought, oh, this looks a bit weird. Fucking police radio, G. So now, I open the back. It's a blood clot surveillance van, bro. They got everything, the radios, listening to everything. All there, bro. Fucking crowed. Gotta watch your phone now, boys. Could be tapped.
So say. I know that some of you are like, oh, I know that I clocked a couple of reactions in the chat room. I think at the beginning of the video, people were just like, yeah, what? It's an old van, isn't it? Yeah, that could be any radio. That might not be a police radio. And then when he opens the back, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, right, okay. Whether that was a police radio in the front or not, you're not getting away with from what's going on in the back. That was a proper clapped out old Fiat van, a really clapped out old one. So shout out to CFR News. Always keeping the people updated and informed on Instagram. If you have not subscribed to CFR News already, then you really do need to think about doing so. I'm going to give you the link for his Instagram right now. Make sure you go over to Instagram and click subscribe on that and stay in tune with what's going on. So on to the next one now. I have to get rid of a few links because they are genuinely confusing.
I just want to interject a second into the chat room. David, mate, we're being really tolerant, right? But we're not actually even talking about that at the moment. We're kind of looking at other stuff and, you know, looking around. So try and keep the chat relevant, because at the moment it just seems like you're on a mission to keep, you know, distracting with that. We don't want to hear that, all right? We don't want to hear that. So please shut up.
Right. Okay, perfect. Well, on that note, we're going to now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer because what we're about to watch is like hard going. Not going to lie. There are a lot more good than bad, but we do need to shine a light on the bad because it's self-evident that this is going on. So when you see things like this, it kind of reminds you that, well, we heard Derek just speak. You've heard people talking about this before. The good cops are there for you, but the bad cops aren't. And right now, we've got a situation that's extremely strange, right? We've got an international pandemic going on. We've got riots going on. We've got all sorts of situations going on. And there's a lot of people that are sharing everything. So with that being said, I came across this today and I thought about it for a long time. I thought, well, am I going to show this? Aren't I going to show this? Right. All I know is that this 60-year-old was on his home driveway. Reportedly, he had a knife. He was wielding a knife. That's all I know at this point. And I promise you, when I get more information, and I am waiting for more information on this, I will give you an updated information. But you will see what you will see, all right? And you can make your own minds up, all right? But obviously, I wouldn't know about it if someone hadn't shown me. So I would pretty much assume that you're not going to know about this unless someone shows you, okay? You don't see anything graphics. Don't worry, your eyes are not going to be dustbins. You don't see anything graphic, but it's a self-evident truth that this situation has happened. So I don't want to report on what the mainstream media is saying has happened, because we've just had the mainstream media doing a number on the victim that's just been suffocated to death in front of everybody. We're now getting information about that victim having worked. Well, you just heard Derek telling you. So again, I'm going to share the link, and yeah, what you're about to see and hear is pretty intense. So yeah, here we go. Sharing audio.
Are you going to show the actual clip? Hang on a sec.
All right, I'm going to. There isn't anything gratuitous in the clip. There's nothing. There isn't anything in the clip. But now that you've done that, I'm just not going to show it. But there isn't actually anything gratuitous in the clip. Yeah. But that just makes us as bad as everyone else if we don't show it. But now that you've had that reaction, I don't want to show it. I don't want to go forth. If you really are uncomfortable, you wouldn't have said anything.
The only reason why, Rox, is because I've seen the screenshot, right? And the screenshot is suggestive enough.
The screenshot? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I don't think you're talking about the same thing I'm talking about, bro.
No, maybe not. Are we talking about the video of yeah, go on. I'm
not talking. Are you talking about the guy that died the other day with the cop?
Yeah. No, you're not. That. Right. Okay. Yeah. Ignore me. Sorry.
I was thinking. No, there's nothing visually in it, bro. But if you're
because Right, I was looking at the chat because I was reading the chat, and then I heard you say about, oh, it's not offensive, and I thought, oh crap, because I know that in that screenshot you said I've edited out all the bad bits.
What screenshot are you talking about?
The picture that we've got, you know, that you put into the Skype.
Right, let's have a look.
Of Mr. What's his name, and we said, what is whatever her name is.
Wow.
Me and Noel are saying, what is a thingy, whatever her name is.
Okay, hold on. I'm going into that chat now just to double check. Oh no, yeah, no way. I'm not showing that. No,
oh, thank
no.
God for that,
This is
man.
this is perfect. You guys have just literally witnessed us kind of not knowing what we're on about here. We just had a bit of a miscommunication. So yeah, Rich, don't worry. Yeah, that I'm definitely not showing that. That's crazy. But I've kind of loosely mentioned it earlier on. So yeah, but good shout out though, because that way we'll keep each other in check and we won't have anything being shown that's like crazy. So yeah, shout out to Rich. I'm normally on that side, but obviously the images below. So yeah, we're going to share this now. And it is very intense, but it's a self-evident truth that it's happened. So unfortunately, it's happened. So here we go. And I'm going to go full screen.
Ariana, go in the house. Go in the get in the house. Go with your brother now. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Fuck! Fuck! Shut up! You know, fuck! They just shot my uncle. Fuck that! I'm gonna kill the cop. Shut up! Uncle must have had a knife tonight on. Yeah. Hello? They shot Uncle! Come in, come to the house! They shot him in front of the house! Come here, please! And I can't leave him! Fucking shit! Oh my God! Ari, come here! Go out! Ari, come here, please!
Yeah, as I said, that was quite intense. So sorry for the intensity of that, but it happened. I'm going to share the link with you all now. People are trying to get to the bottom of exactly what was happening, but you can clearly hear that the guy's nephew and the guy's nephew's wife were clearly concerned about what just happened. So they clearly didn't think he deserved to be taken out. So it wasn't a case of they were fearing for their life or anything like that.
Him, for God's sake. They taser everybody else.
The guy deserves respect in the sense that people need to know that this has happened. And he was stood on the driveway in front of the house with his back to the house, and no one screaming at the officers to get him away from the house because he was a threat to them all. And you could clearly hear the guy distressed because he's going, right, they've just murdered my uncle. They've just fucking shot my uncle. Like, and you can hear the girl trying to calm him down so he doesn't meet the same fate that the uncle's just made. And yeah, he could have been drunk. Not normal behavior either way, but that, you know, it's like they've just clean shot him, which isn't cool. Kelly Jelly said, yeah, that's something that could happen to any of us. Shot early with no pre-warning for sure. Yeah.
That's
and this
the
is
thing.
what
You didn't hear him.
There was just no pre-warning.
You didn't hear him tell him to drop the knife or anything, did you? You just
nothing at all. Nothing at
And
all.
taser, yeah, like I said, like they always normally taser, unless
I thought-
somebody's got a gun. Unless somebody
I
has a
thought.
gun, if they have a
Taser,
gun.
pepper, dogs. Pat Wright, same. Oh, big love to you, Noel. He says, I'll be returning soon. Hope everyone's okay. We're all good, darling. Sending you big hugs, sweetheart. See you soon, darling. Yeah, there was no pre-warning. Pat saying taser, pepper, dogs on the scene. Nothing. No, just loads of cops. Loads of cops. One guy. Loads of cops. One guy. And just bang, bang, bang. Point blank. Yeah. Yes, they are. They're faced with all sorts. But that was all those cops and one guy. And you know, for that reason, we've brought it to your attention. What you do with it is your business, but we're bringing it to your attention. On the other hand, as I said, we've got something quite different to show you now, from the sublime to the extreme. We have got this to show you, just a short video, and then we'll talk about this straight after.
Do you mean from the extreme to the sublime?
On the cleanup. Organized riots funded by George Soros. Oh, crikey. Underground says the core message of all this is we need our guns back under Article 7 of the English Bill of Rights.
Do you know what? I was just...
Good man.
I was just going to agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to post the link for that in the chat room as well for you.
And Kelly Jelly, I think that really did get intense. I mean, I'm really, really sorry, but it's not going to get like that again.
No.
That was it. Now
Yes, the community is coming together, my darling. That's exactly what we're going to show you more of right now. We're going to show you more of that. Here we go.
Yeah, this is to warm your heart.
So that's even more. I'm going to share that Twitter link. This is a Twitter link coming up now for you all. Okay. That's in the chat room for you all right now. And as promised, we were going to show you that CNN clearly is going to reap what they sow. So with that being said, I'm going to share this link for you all right now. I'm going to share the audio and go there. And as we said, 2017, CNN praised Antifa. 2020, CNN HQ attacked by Antifa. So here we go.
Started to come up and down this thoroughfare of Marietta and break out windows of CNN Center.
Maybe their tactics weren't exactly right.
Don Lemon goes, well, you know, the alt-left Antifa, maybe they have some bad tactics.
Listen, there's no organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Another large object just thrown there at CNN. This is our home, Chris, This is where we come to work every day. Journalists who are trying to tell the truth.
They wouldn't have been anywhere near there had it not been for the fact that white supremacists, neo-Nazis, were out scaring the living daylights out of most of the people in that town.
That is the CNN world headquarters. Police had been outside, and then as the crowds advanced on CNN, and they were on top of the CNN logo and spray painting things on it, they started to light cars on fire and become increasingly violent. All punches are not equal. Moral.
Something on fire, Chris, a firecracker. Something's on fire. Shit. Started to come up and down this thoroughfare.
So I think the next thing that really needs to happen is what's on the screen right now, Rich.
Yeah, man.
Press 1 if you think Soros needs arresting.
It's not the only one, hey, but yeah.
One of many. One of many. One of many. That there, I'm going to give you all the links for that as well. That's an Instagram link that's coming into the chat room right now. Yeah, well said, Maggie Ray. And before we go into the next video from Montega, we're going to give everyone in the chat room a shout out. You've all been rolling with us for 3 hours and 24 minutes. Those of you that have been here from the start, you're absolute troopers. Thank you so much. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the chat room and start with Kelly Jelly, the Grand, and Apple Charlotte as well. Arrest Soros 2020. Shout out my darling for that. That's brilliant. Maggie Ray, Lunderground, Loose Screws Chops as well. Shout out to you, my lovely. And further up the list, we've got Maggie Ray, David as well. John Cleese, Mark Carter. Yeah, most serious I've ever seen you posting here, actually. Yeah, apologies for that. It was really intense, but it needed to be done. Jonathan Hobbs. Yeah, well said. I agree. Those guys on the driveway that did that were absolute. Dagon as well. Shout out to you, my lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. And Blazing Stars is still there as well, Rich. And further up, we've got Mass Awakening, Scuba Dracula. Thank you so much for joining us. There's Vagabond still there as well. Absimus is still in with us. Lovely to still see you in the chat room interacting. As I said before, there's Noel. He'll be back with us real soon. Anyone else in the chat room? Luke Kennedy. Hanging more like, yeah. Recoup, rest and recoup. Yes. Glad you said Clinton, because that's what's coming up next. Kelly said it's almost bedtime there. Yeah, it's 1:26 in the morning here, and I'm going Speaker's Corner in the morning. So shout out to us for staying up late when we've got an early start, burning the candle at both ends. Apple Charlotte, cheers, my darling. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to jump straight now to Montega. Share screen, share audio, Chrome, and here. I will share the link as he is talking. Let me just, in fact, I don't know with these videos if they're at the very start or not. So I'm just going to click there and go.
It's been reported by law enforcement that individuals arrested in New York, DC, Minnesota, California, and other places, that the majority of these people being arrested are not actually from the areas in which they're protesting from. It's clear that Antifa is infiltrating Black suffering yet again and going in and destroying Black communities yet again for George Soros. All of these people had to bus in from different locations. So finding out who these individuals are, it shouldn't be that hard. We can contact bus and train services and find out. Most importantly, at this particular point in time, what we need to do is designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist group. You watched as they attacked Black Lives Matter even. And now the whole country is burning because deep state operatives and Antifa as well are outside burning our country down. And the news will then take it and blame it on Black folks like we're responsible for it, when there are countless videos out there with Blacks saying we are not destroying our neighborhoods and cleaning it up. It's been reported by law enforcement that individuals.
Okay, so that's one video there. I'm going to put the link in the chat room for everybody. And I've got one more here as well. Hold on. Let's do that one, this one here. I'm going to just share this one now, and then we'll talk some more after this, because this one leads into that one, which is relevant. So I really feel that people need to know that people understand these things and they're awake to them. So here we go.
So I want you guys to understand something. There is a reason why there is a direct deflection, not only of the media, but of liberal politicians and rhinos alike. When you notice that you see these politicians talking about Donald Trump and blaming race relations on Donald Trump, the thing that they're not telling you is that people like Hillary Clinton, with her sorry ass, is that these people have been in politics for 30, 40 plus years. So the race relations that are currently fractured within this country, these people have to be responsible for. See, there's a reason why they jump to deflect everything towards Donald Trump, because then you'll have to sit back and realize that, hey, all of these people, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Hillary Clintons, the Chuck Schumers, all of these people, the Al Sharptons, all of these liars, all of these people, all of these liars have had ample opportunity to actually go in and create reform and change within African American communities. But these individuals that I named, all of them, they've all benefited from Black pain and murder and death. Hillary Clinton from Black incarceration. They benefited from destroying Black America. And then they get to turn around and turn this shit on Donald Trump, who just got fucking elected. We're going on his 4th year. Like, really? Everything that has happened already, it exists because of the national news media. They depict Blacks like animals whenever they get the opportunity to. You sit here and you have all of these Black social justice warriors, and they're sitting here and they're sucking on the nuts and tits of Hollywood. You know why? They won't tell you. Because normally they complain that Blacks can't get roles, good enough roles for Blacks in the first place, and they're not offered the same roles as whites. You'll hear it all the fucking time. The Oscars don't represent Black folks. The Grammys don't represent Black folks. It's like all of these people do is just sit back, take it in the ass, and then say whatever they want them to say. I'm not going to allow these people to do that. And no one's going to pass the buck on to Donald Trump and or his supporters. This shit is not about race relations, and it's got nothing to do with us whatsoever. This has to do with the Democrat Party, the multi-billion-dollar corporations that are running this media, and the way they target these communities, the way they disproportionately have these communities viewed on their platforms, and the way they make sure that they always introduce race whenever there is a social justice issue. The thing is, whenever a cop violates someone's rights, no matter what color the cop is, the color shouldn't matter. The rights of the person, of the individual, should be the first thing that's discussed, not the color's person. Not the color of the person. The first thing that we should be talking about are the rights that have been violated of the person. Period. Period. When you hear the news in the media passing on the buck and blaming it on Donald Trump and blaming it on everyone else and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit, I just need you to understand one thing. Again, these people have had 30, 40 plus years to create change. And the only thing we can attribute to these individuals in our Black communities is the fact that these individuals are partly responsible, if not greatly responsible, for its destruction, for its demise. We have watched as tons of white folks have been shipped all the way into Minnesota so they can go in and destroy Black communities. And you know what happened? When Trump said thugs are destroying property, they said it's Black folks. Because the news media equated thugs with Black folks. It was the news media that actually took those words and equated it with Black folks. It's the news media that's racist. They've always depicted Black folks like they ain't shit. There's a reason why I haven't been invited on any of your national news media either. They all know I'm running. I'm the only person that's out here outright going viral all on his own. They're not stupid. They're trying to keep you from understanding that there are people like me out here that are exposing them. They're trying to keep you from understanding that they are the actual cause and problems. They are partly responsible for the cause and problems within our communities. And the politicians are even more responsible than the news media, who does the covering up for them. Because these guys have not implicated any laws or policies whatsoever that actually went in and created change within these communities, that actually allow law enforcement to stop policing by fucking numbers and police by community values. This is the problem. The bureaucrats who are running all of these Democrats. It's always been the Democrats. It's always been the Democrats, the liberal Democrats. And now the truth is going to set us free. Fuck a last one of them.
So that was straight from Montega. I'm going to pop the link for that in the chat room. And if you are on Instagram, again, I would implore you to go and follow these people, because they are.
I love that point that he made, Ben. I absolutely love that point that he made, because it's something that I didn't think about it, man. Thinking about it like that. The people that are asking to be elected have had the last 30 or 40 years to make a change. And they've done nothing. All they've done is contribute to the destruction. So
Absolutely. That's all they've done. They've just contributed it over the last couple of 100 years, actually, as we were talking about with everyone last time. The Democratic Party over the last 200 years has been on the wrong side of every argument. It's just been on the wrong side each and every time. And we showed you an excellent little video that kind of took you through the stages of all of their F-ups over the decades. So, yeah, without further ado, we're now going to bring you AG Bar, and I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to go there right now, and just literally after listening to what Montega's just said, I think this is pretty apt.
Already, initial charges have been filed by the state. That process continues to move forward, and justice will be served. Unfortunately, with the rioting that is occurring in many of our cities around the country, the voices of peaceful protest are being hijacked by violent radical elements. Groups of outside radicals and agitators are exploiting the situation to pursue their own separate and violent agenda. In many places, it appears the violence is planned, organized, and driven by anarchic and left extremist groups, far left extremist groups, using Antifa-like tactics, many of whom travel from outside the state to promote violence. We must have law and order on our streets and in our communities, and it is the responsibility of the local and state leadership in the first instance to halt this violence. The Department of Justice, including the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, the ATF, the DEA, and our 93 United States Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney's offices around the country, are supporting these local efforts. We'll continue to support them and take all action necessary to enforce federal law. In that regard, it is a federal crime to cross state lines or to use interstate facilities to incite or participate in violent rioting, and we will enforce those laws. Thank you.
All right, so they are starting to make it more difficult. They are starting to clamp down. We're going to keep everyone abreast with that. And I'm going to, right now, I'm going to just share the link for that in the chat room for you all. That is a Twitter link that is incoming. So hold tight for that. That is going into all 3 chat rooms right now. Shout out to Jaybird as well. I'm going to share the screen now again. And I'm going to take you over to, this is one thing that we keep reminding you, because we will keep you up to date. I promise you, we'll always keep you up to date. I've gone and done it, haven't I? Hold on. Let me just do this and make sure I do it with the sound. Share sound and go there. Right. So hopefully you can see here, this is the channel that some of you may be watching this content on just now. And this is the community section of said channel. As you can see here, if you go to the home section, you will see the live stream that's currently streaming. And if you just go along to the community section, a lot of channels don't have an active community section, and some people just don't use it at all. But if you scroll down, you'll see here, obviously the last one that I've done was 5 hours ago, and that is letting everybody know that we're going to be streaming from Speaker's Corner. So that's there. And again, we have shared all the links for the streams there. I do have a purpose for taking you down here, by the way. So have that there. The MSM having lost control of the narrative, and a little bit on Soros. And this is obviously nearly a day ago now. And as we scroll down here, a little bit of update about the Out of Shadows video that Jessica was on speaking about. Obviously, I said, let's be honest, the MSM had it coming. That was from Maria. But a day ago, I updated my community status with this. Okay, as you can see, this is Buckingham Palace. Now, there's no actual... I haven't got boots on the ground there. I live quite close to there, which is why I'm going there tomorrow to see for myself if this is the case. But I'm going to show you something now, and hopefully, obviously, it's not going to... Is it still sharing the screen? I'm just going to come back.
Yeah. Still sharing.
Yeah, that's cool. So with that being said, I'm just going to stop that one, and I'm just going to start sharing again, which I'm going to have to do now with the audio. Right. Okay. Boom. Okay. So with a bit of luck, you will see this now. Okay. And this is a video outside Buckingham Palace the other day. Walk with me on this one.
And from the gate, the crest has gone. If you're going closer, you can see that the windows are all boarded up from the inside or covered or something. But it's the first time that has ever happened. And the guys guarding the palace on the Royal Guards, they are Gurkhas. The Gurkhas guarding the palace. Interesting. So make of that what you want. Who knows? Buckingham Palace.
So as you could see there, it's showing us no emblem. Rich, we have delved into this a little bit because we both actually watched a program called Timeline, where you'd watched it already, and there is something going on. There is something, and can you just help me with this, Rich? Because the program we watched today was quite complex, but there seems to be an F up with the lineage, regardless whether this guy, this next guy that they're talking about.
His name's Michael, isn't it? Or Michael or Matthew or something. But there's also another one. There's also a John.
His name is Joseph Gregory Hallett. And there is a theory about him being the true King John III. However, and this is something that I really do want to bring everyone's attention to, right? I'm wondering if I can, let me just think. If I minimize that and I get this next thread up, would that be the same thread? Because I'm wondering if you all can see this. Let me just do this real quick.
No, baby, we just can't see nothing yet.
Can you all see that?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah, these were the images we were going through earlier on, Rich. So
yeah.
Can you give everyone a brief synopsis of what it is we're looking at? As far as I'm concerned, is this Queen Victoria's gold monogram blood thumbprint? Yeah, go on.
And the see if I've got a better pic closer. I want to zoom in on it, right? Because it says in
there's the little crest there on the bottom right, like this thing here.
There's right. So there's the top one. You can see a white. It's actually they call it a hair. And it's a white. Well, it's a hair that's cut into things. So obviously, some people are saying it's a white rabbit. But more than that, there's actually this is a blood. This has a blood seal. It's Queen Victoria's thumbprint in blood. You can just see the edge of it up there, top left.
Yeah, there.
There's another picture that's this is slightly zoomed in. There is another picture of it. Yeah, there we go. There's Victoria's thumbprint in blood. And the whole point of that is it's a royal blood hair. That's why they called it a hair.
I think what did I say to you before we went live? I said, Rich, this is either a distraction, or a nothing burger. Only because what we've looked at doesn't seem to match up with what we're seeing here. There is definitely something really uncouth with the lineage, with who's in the role, because like I said, from what we saw today, it doesn't correlate to this Joseph Hallett guy at all whatsoever, but it did correlate to some other guy called Michael who lives in Australia and his whole family.
That's the Michael guy I was talking about. Yeah,
that's the guy I was talking about as well. And this, so like I said, this is what's circulating at the moment. Me and Rich aren't advocating for this. I need everyone to understand that, because I personally think this is a bit of a nothing burger, and it's brilliantly timed. Although I do understand that Buckingham Palace does shut down. Shout out to the chat room when the Queen's on her long furlongs. So yeah, I am going to go to Buckingham Palace tomorrow though and see what's good.
Well, we'll find out. See if we can find out where the Queen is.
Yeah, we'll have
has anybody ever heard of an occasion before when one of the emblems, one of the royal emblems, is removed. So there's 2 royal seals. Does anybody know of an occasion where one of those royal seals has been removed, even if it's just for cleaning or something?
It is what it is. It is what it is. But again, we're going to keep you updated with that. Now, back to the malarkey. We obviously just showed you AG Bar. We've now got another one to show you as well. And as I said, I'm trying to keep you as up to date as possible, like literally right down to the minute. So just bear with me. Okay. I'm going to play this for you all right now. No, I can't Chromecast. What are you like?
Peter. More specific about the numbers. I heard you saying that 10,000 people have come in from out of state, that every bit of violence was done by people who were coming in from out of state. So where did that sort of cross over from earlier demonstrations to what's going on now? And again, what kind of numbers are you talking about, and what can you share?
Yeah, I'll
with
let
us
these
as far
folks
as
go.
intelligence?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. But Peter's question is about how do we know this? And I want to just be very clear. As I said earlier in the week, this is not about saying, oh, this isn't us. It's everybody from everywhere else. We understand that the catalyst for this was Minnesotans and Minnesotans' inability to deal with inequality, inequities, and quite honestly, the racism that has persisted. I am not denying that. But what we're at right now, and we're trying to get numbers on this, and I will try, and what I'm asking the media to help us on, we're going to start releasing who some of these people are, and they'll be able to start tracing that that history of where they're at and what they're doing on the dark web and how they're organizing. But I'm not trying to say that. I think our best estimate right now that I heard is about 20% is what we think are Minnesotans, and about 80% are outside. So I'm not trying to deflect in any way. I'm not trying to say there aren't Minnesotans amongst this group. We know that we have folks that may not be there too, but the vast majority right now, and I think that the difference is, and this is where Mayor Carter, Mayor Fry spoke eloquently on this, our heart and our solidarity are with folks who understand what happened Monday night to George Floyd. Must see justice, and we must fix. But these folks are not them. So that's a good question, and we'll get more data. Peter, you want to follow up on that? All right. Yes, sir.
So they estimate that 80% of the rioters were from out of state, Rich. 80%. 80%. Kind of makes sense with what AG Barr's just said then, innit? So it seems to be an Antifa problem. It seems to be a Soros problem. And I think Nigel is kind of, I'm talking about Nigel Farage, one of our really woke reporters. I think Nigel has kind of opened the lid on how they're getting moved to the UK to cause the civil unrest. Their assets, to put it bluntly, their assets, they're being used and maneuvered around the place. So obviously, like we said months ago, the belt's going to get tightened quite much because all of it's the insurgent issue that is an issue. Now, we brought up the Insurrection Act of 1807, which is a United States federal law. Until 2016, it was found at 10 US Code, Chapter 15. Anyway, the long title, in a long story short, is it's an act authorizing the employment of the land and naval forces of the United States in cases of insurrections. Well, it's funny that you should say that, because if Antifa's doing what they're reported to be doing, then obviously at some point, pretty much after as we've spoken about before, the Posse Comitatus Act, which is what that, is coupled with, which is then, the presidential powers for federal military law enforcement on US soil, and unincorporated territories are limited and delayed. So, with that being said, I really do think this is a situation that's, as I said, yes, Maggie Ray, well said. The silent wars continued for a long time, and it looks like it's now spilling out over to the streets. I don't think the cabal have ever been pushed to the surface like they're being pushed to the surface right now. And I think we're seeing like an epicenter going on in the US, but I'm looking around my country and I'm looking around the rest of the international community going, Where do you think this one's going, Rich?
I mean, they're trying to basically they're trying to promote civil unrest, aren't they? They want panic and pandemonium. It's their whole order out of chaos.
Yeah.
What's the word? Play. That wasn't what I was looking for, but there we go.
Every person in every single community has the right to be safe in their homes, on their streets. It is the sacred right of all people. And I think all of us are determined to defend that right. And I think when we see things like this, we have to call it out, because that's really what they want. They want that. The cabal are going to be fighting for their lives at this point, and the retaliation's not going to be nice. And it's one that we're all going to probably have to go through at some stage. So as I said, we'll keep you as up to date as absolutely possible. I got that from Breitbart. Breitbart. Okay. I'm Muller, so many names, it's ridiculous. I'll pop the link for that in the chat room for you as well. So yeah, with that being said, excuse me.
Alfie says
hi. Oh, hello, Alfie. You're right, my love. You're right, Chuck. The link for the Twitter for Buckingham Palace as well, for anyone who's interested in what's going on with Buckingham Palace just now, that's in there as well. So I actually think, I'm not sure what the time is anymore. I've lost all.
We've been going for 3 hours and 50 minutes, darling.
Almost 4 hours, and I've only got one link left on the screen, and that's the link to play us out. So I think we should spend the last segment of today's Really Woke show giving a shout out to everybody in the chat room.
Big
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with Chuck. Loose Screws as well, Jesse Enns, Pat Riot, Blazing Stars. We've got Red Flag Rico as well, Maggie Ray, Apple Charlotte, Kelly Jelly. We've got Jay Bird as well, Pat Riot, Mass Awakening. We've got Bret Hart as well. Absam Assistant in the chat room. Yep, Loose Screws too, Mark Carter. And Maggie Ray, Dagon Morningstar.
Blazing, you said Blazing, Apple Charlotte. We're probably going to say people
over and over again. Another thing, yeah, hey. The other thing I wanted to remind you all is that we will be doing a different time tomorrow as well. We'll probably go live in the evening as well, but we've got a special live stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT live from Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, London. So that's 1 p.m. GMT live from Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner, London. So join us for that. We'll be live. We'll be talking about all of these most important topics out on the streets with as many people as possible, giving you the kind of street view on what's going on just now. So yeah, please do join us for that, because we'll be live from 1 p.m. tomorrow. John Cleese, I see you in the chat room there. Lovely to see you still there. Thanks so much for joining us.
Big shout out to everybody that's been here for like 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, troopers. Jane of Torquay as well. Lovely to be seeing you in the chat room throughout the evening. Thank you, Maggie Ray. Thank you, Apple Charlotte. Haska Sun as well. Thank you so much for being with us. Awesome. Thanks, Haska.
Haska Sun's become a regular.
Love it. Mass Awakening, thank you so much. Brilliant. Awesome. Hey, Really Work. Looking to Seattle, something just went down. Thank you. I'll definitely write that. I'll definitely write that down. Can you double remind me about Seattle? We'll definitely look into that. Bret Hart as well. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that's given us thanks. We couldn't do this without you. And this gives us just as much kind of structure in our life as we need as well, because these are trying times for everybody. And I'm trying to find truth in all of this as well. So there's no point in doing it on my own. It's not helping anybody. You guys come along with us. We're not invested in any kind of outcome other than the truth. With some transparency would be good. Yeah, so tomorrow we will be live at 1 p.m. GMT, and we will also be live at 9:30 p.m. GMT. So join us in the afternoon. We'll be ending up going through bits and pieces in the evening about what happened in the afternoon. And we'll try and do our best to kind of raise the bar as far as the live stream is concerned. We will be live streaming using StreamYard. So if there is any other people that want to come to Speaker's Corner, even just to live stream the visual aspects of what's going on, you're more than welcome to come along and do so. We can give you a StreamYard link and you can join the stream.
Obviously, we're only going to really accept people who we do know.
Yeah, of course.
We've already built some sort of rapport with. So, yeah, but you guys, you're all welcome.
Tell Rich I love his videos of the water and his music. That's from Maggie Ray.
Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Dagon. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Apple, Charlotte. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Loose Screws. Thank you, all of you. Really, each and every one of you for taking the time to be here with us. Please like and share the stream as far and wide as possible. Tell a friend that we'll be live from Speaker's Corner tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT. Like, sub, and share. Thank you, Apple, Charlotte. We really appreciate that, sweetheart. And yeah, until then,
all donations £20 or over, and there's a bottle of CBD oil while stocks last.
Yeah, well said,
Just
bro.
to say
Shout out to the Meekster. Shout out to the Meekster. Red Flag Rico, great show. Good night. Thank you so much, Mark Carter, Pat Riot, Apple Charlotte. Thank you, my darlings. And now we're going to play you out with our little Really Woke Show theme song. And we will see you tomorrow afternoon from Speaker's Corner. So don't miss out. When you see that link, go live, look for it. Okay, we're going to make sure the notification goes up pretty soon so that everyone gets a good forewarning, because it's going to be a different time.
This is going to be hopefully the most interactive Speaker's Corner that we've ever done.
Yes. Yeah, as I said, we're going for this. We're going to go for raising the bar on this one. So until tomorrow afternoon, that's all, folks. We shall see you in a few hours from Speaker's Corner. All right, my darlings.
That's guys.
Shout out to all of you in the chat room as well. Big hugs. Take care. Have a good rest, and we'll see you in a few hours. Awesome. I'm just gonna put it back to the beginning. That would help, wouldn't it? Here we go. Adios. Bye-bye.
But you do say, 'cause we're both